Welcome to the World Championship warm-up tournament. We are already on to day 3, the quarterfinals. I am Judo Sloth, joined by Itsu.
Thank you, Judo. And yes, we started with 24 teams this tournament. All of those teams were here to show all of us, show all of you guys out there their incredible skill, the current setup of their attacks and everything. And we had such an amazing tournament so far, but now we're down to 8 teams. And now one of the last rounds is going to start off today. But before we're going to do that, let's take a quick look at a recap of the last couple of matches, right?
Absolutely. We had 3 different categories of teams enter this tournament. We had the Clan War League teams from March, the invited team in which only Indian clashers survive because all of the world finalists from last year that entered into round 2 pretty much made it through, Itsu. It was a fantastic weekend of clashing, and I cannot wait to see what the teams have in store this weekend. But I think we should take a look at the matches that happened in round 2, just so the audience know exactly what happened in the previous matches.
That's right. So we have a quick recap. We had first off the match ATN.aTTaX versus Henna Royal. And after Henna Royal having a perfect war in the first round of the competition, now we had Alternate having the perfect war against them to get into this next round.
11 Original entered the competition against High Flyers Unicorns of Love. It was such a close matchup. It could have gone either way, but it was 11 Original right at the end who won this one 13-12 to progress to today's matches.
The next one was by far the closest match we had in this tournament. And this was Nishang Dance facing off against MCS. 2 of the favorites coming to this tournament, and in the end only 1.2%, which were the difference, and Nishang Dance edged this out on percentage.
TOMPINAI Empire showed us their class on offense and defense. They were so close to the perfect war, and they did not have a single 3-star against them. They were on fire last weekend, so let's see how they managed to do today.
Queen Walkers facing off against Indian Clashers. This was a huge matchup, and we had Queen Walkers and Indian Clashers starting strong, but then slowly we saw that there were one team getting ahead, and that was Indian Clashers pushing it through in the end to get into the next round and winning against Queen Walkers.
The Chinese community faced off as Darkest MuZhan battled JX Tiger. This was an incredibly close matchup as well, but Darkest MuZhan counted on their experience from last year's World Finals, winning this match 13-12.
The next one was H.T Family versus Aphelion Esports, and H.T Family came out swinging with a lot of air strategies like Electro Dragons, Normal Dragons, and all sort of nice strategies. In the end, they received the lowest score on defense, and this was how they got into the next round.
Arguably the most creative matchup of the weekend, Vatang versus Method to Madness. You really couldn't pick a winner, as each and every 3-star was mind-blowing. But there can only be one winner, and it was Vatang who won this match 14-13.
So this means after having our first 2 rounds, this gave us a lot of strategy and a lot of statistics. And I mean, there's one man collecting all of this for us, and that's Chris. So let's take a look at those stats collected from Chris. If you want to give him a follow on Twitter, make sure to do so. And well, those were all of the attack strategies. We are having a ton of different strategies, and as well the triple rates and the hit rates.
Yes, and you can see the Lava Loon, different variants of Lava Loon, was the most common. However, the Inferno Dragons was one of the highest, but I do want to point out at the bottom of the list as well, the Queen Charge Miner, only attack that has 100%. I feel this is a great example of picking the right strategy for the base Itsu.
Yeah, that's right. You always have to adapt to the base. You always have to kind of like find the weak spot of this base and try to somehow abuse this, which sometimes were like happening with, for example, the Queen Charge Miner. But at the same time, there are a couple of strategies out there which are always good to use, which I want to touch on as well, because we had Queen Charge Hybrid, for example, 26 hits overall with the hit rate of 65%. That's for sure a strategy which you can use versus nearly every single base. And in addition to that, we had witches and super witches getting used a ton with 29 hits overall, and pretty good hit rate as well. And well, there's now this super giant and witch strategy out there, which is kind of interesting, I would say. And a lot of pro teams are catching up on that because that strategy is looking crazy.
Yes, so let's take a look at the matches for today. It starts with ATN.aTTaX versus 11 Original. Then we will see Nishang Dance versus TOMPINAI Empire, Indian Clashes versus Darkest MuZhan, and H.T Family versus Vatang. I'm looking forward to that final matchup for sure. But what are they competing for here, Itsu?
They're competing for a crazy amount of prize money, $40,000 on the line, with the third seed going home with $5,000, the second seed going home with $10,000, and the first seed is going home with $25,000. That's a lot of prize money on the line.
They will be giving it their all, but our first matchup of today, last year's world champion winners, ATN.aTTaX versus 11 Original. What are your thoughts on this one, Itsu?
That's such an interesting one, especially for me, like as part for the German community, because I mean, the majority of ATN.aTTaX is German player base. Obviously, we have not every single one of them, but still. And they're knowing each other since 11 Original is a complete German team. And I know that there's a little bit of friendly banter going on in between of those two teams. So this is going to be exciting to watch. And I have to say, I'm looking so forward to see maybe some sort of baits coming into this, because both players and both teams know each other. So there might be some crazy things which we can expect.
Yeah, I was just bound to pick up on that, the friendly competition, but the fact that everybody knows each other, I'm sure we will have bases trying to trap the opponents, but also maybe they just then don't use the strategies that they normally do in order to try and take advantage of those bases. So it is going to be an interesting matchup, just adding a little bit extra spice to things, if you will.
Yeah, it's like a mind game of a mind game of a mind game. Yeah, but let's see if that's actually the case. So we have Yo-Yo starting things off, and he's choosing not to go with air. He is going with the ground option, which is the P.E.K.K.A Smash, and he's bringing actually a couple of lightnings to this one as well to get rid of the enemy Scatter, enemy Warden, and this is giving him a great pathing. 2 more lightnings to take down the Scatter. There we go, and now this Warden Walk should take down the Inferno Tower, and as soon as that's set, he can get started with the P.E.K.K.A, the Witches, and the Super Wizards.
Very calmly done there at the start, making sure to keep an eye on the Warden, rotating the lightning spells around that scatter shot for maximum value, trying to get the multi-target Inferno here, and then after that, he's still going to be looking pretty good on time to just drive everything in towards the Town Hall. Yo-Yo 23 obviously did get the 3 stars last weekend, with Alternate getting the perfect war, and it was interesting to see him using ground there as well, Itsu, but it looks like with the balloons coming in, we are just about ready for the main phase of the attack.
Yeah, really nice use of those loons. It's so important to bring those loons. If you guys are wondering why exactly, it is to get every single black mine out of the way to make sure that those healers can not be taken down. And there's already the first 2 black mines, Tornado Trap as well, so nicely done so far, triggering all of that just with those couple of loons. The Warden ability is covering everything perfectly, and now everything is going to just like overkill the town. There's 1 war piece missing actually behind. I guess it's to like mess up certain war breaks, but this is giving me actually the possibility of just like go through this base like nothing without even having to invest a jump spell at this point.
Yeah, because he has another Super Warbreaker coming through. It is perfectly placed to get to the middle compartment, giving access towards the Eagle and the Multi. You did see some of the black bombs going off there to get the healers. Again, just showing why you do take balloons to protect your healers to later on in the battle. It does look like these Super Wizards have gone down at this point, but he does have P.E.K.K.A with full health that the healers switch onto. Queen ability just about to be used, but he still has the Royal Champion, Itsu. not
Wow,
deployed.
the royal ship. Yeah, it's not even deployed yet, and there's still another freeze on which he has not deployed either. So it's a lot of power. It's a lot of power which he still has. And one interesting thing I have to say: why did he brought a dragon in his siege barracks? That's interesting because he is not bringing the dragon in his army composition. Except that the loons are helping perfectly. The queen is taking down the enemy royal champion. Judo. As long as this is not coming down to time, I think this is really looking awesome for Yo-Yo.
Well, he has a couple of troops on the right-hand side that he deployed just to speed up the attack, and that might be the difference maker using the freeze on the final defense. RC shield goes off, and Yo-Yo 23 begins today's matches with the 3-star, continuing on exactly where ATN.aTTaX left off. Beautiful start to today's stream.
That is impressive. I mean, so far, yet ATN has to fail in this tournament. Every single attack so far was a triple by them. Like, it's just crazy, and especially going against like this. We talked a bit more about like going first, going second, what is better. And I feel like ATN going first is definitely better for them, putting up the pressure early. And now it's up to 11 Original somehow to come back, especially one thing which I love about, because I talked with the base builder of ATN, and he said one of the best things about ATN as well is that every single one of them, or most of them, are building their own bases. So having so much input into that, being able to bait entries, being able to defend certain strategies. Let's see if this is helpful in this one, and if Kyle can somehow overcome this.
Well, flipping the meta a little bit, we did talk about strategies and success rates at the start of the stream. Yves Kale using the dragons, which didn't have the best success rate, so maybe he does see something on the base here that he fancies the dragon attack strategy for. Starting with the earthquake spell to the west side of the base, that is going to be for the royal champion seeking shield. Very nice use of the lightning spell to reset the single target Inferno's charge, and just mean that the royal champion can get a little bit extra value here at Zoo.
Oh my goodness, that one Tesla was just so good.
Wow.
He wanted to get the air defense with his Yeti, but instead the Tesla soaked up every single Yeti might. Those are not just the small things which are so good, and I don't know if that was planned. Maybe because this Yeti thing is a common thing, but still, the town hall should go down with that queen still being around there. The king is doing a great job of pushing everything inside. The invisibility spell keeps the queen alive, and now we have the dragons swarming the base.
Interesting stuff here because he's taken out a huge portion of the splash to the west side of the base. Notice we just have the scattershot and wizard tower to the northern area. Is he going to try and drop the bats within the scattershot radius or to the side of the base so he can swoop around? Because he does have 3 freeze spells here, Itsu, so it looks pretty good as long as the dragons can get through the center. They are continuing to push through, and we can just see the bats coming in from the top area of the base. They will be able to get a lot of bats spawned prior to getting to that wizard tower. The freeze spell comes in, bats continuing to spawn, dragons going down fast. It's going to be a close one as long as he can continue to tank that scatter, though. I think he might get this.
Yeah, this is looking so good. The bats are just overpowering the back, and the scatter is the last important defense, and that should go down.
Oh!
And we have a match in our hand. This is going to be the next 3-star for Kale, and Liver Original are answering right away to alternate. And what an attack! I think this is the first drag. Oh no, it's not the first drag with the triple, but still, like, it's one of the first triples with the dragons, and this was such an overpowering one.
Incredible. We did see one of the attacks from Indian Clashes, I think it was, using the drag bat, but that really was overpowering. As I was commentating, about 6 dragons popped up from behind the percentage area of the screen that I couldn't see. I don't think he lost many dragons there, Itsu. Really did do well to just pick apart everything incredibly.
Yeah, it was really nicely done. I was already a bit afraid of this one. Air defense not going down, but I then just saw that it was only the pathing thing for the queen, so it wasn't the end of the world. He did everything amazingly. And one interesting thing to know about this is that Yves Kale normally always attacks with queen charge hybrid. It's his favorite attack strategy as well, which he's using everywhere. And now he's coming in with the dragons. Do we see like the small mind games already starting going into this match? So really nice switch. It has worked perfectly. And now it's once again back to alternate, and let's see what they're coming up with, because so far you were never ever able to predict what Alternate is going to do next.
Well, we talked about that last week, didn't we? They just have so much diversity that it makes it really hard to build bases against them, because you never know what they're going to use. But it could not have started any better for both of these teams. And I'm sure 11 Original are pretty happy with that. I know they've taken a 3-star from Alternate, but you can kind of expect that going up against the world champions. So just throwing your own 3-star into the mix is about everything you can do at this stage, and just hope that they slip up.
Yeah, that's right. Hoping that the defense is working and they're running into one of their base, for example. And oh my goodness, we talked about this strategy. I even did like a video about this today, and I saw many other content creators doing it as well. This attack strategy is right now everywhere, and it's just so crushing with those earthquakes, with those lightnings and everything. So really, really crazy stuff. Let's see how this works for us, and if all of those witches can just overpower the base.
Yeah, so if you are looking for a strategy to use at home, take close note here. I always like the lightning spell with this strategy. It's not just to take down one of the scatters, but it also helps with the pathing. You can notice the left-hand side of the base, that compartment, pretty much down in essence, that the witches in the center will be able to just concentrate their fire up through the middle of the base, following the log launcher to the town hall, which you can just see that path clear as day. The witches spawning more and more skeletons, and he doesn't have anything else to deploy at this stage other than a wall breaker and the royal champion alongside his spells, but every single troop on the board and slowly moving through.
Yeah, slowly moving through. It's like I don't know, like it's so hard to predict how the attack is going, because like it kind of looks bad for the attack, I feel like, but at the same time there are so many witches alive, so you never know if that's actually good or bad. And there are five more freezes not even used, and from this time on I don't think this tunnel is going to have a great time, because it's just like non-stop frozen. I don't think it has like shot any target so far. Now the royal champion is coming in as well, and I think so far with still 3 freezes not used, it looks pretty good.
It does. I think he really needed to freeze the town hall there. Like you said, protecting all of the witches in the center. That is going to be helpful for the Archer Queen and the Royal Champion as they move in towards the single target Inferno. But since he still has 3 freeze spells, he can use that as well. Decides not to save the Archer Queen. She is in the inside of the base anyway, so it looks like he's going to protect the Royal Champion here. That is the main focus, freezing the single Itsu. I don't think there is anything that can stop this attack right now. Freezing the final defenses, the Royal Champion sets through, freezing the mortar as well. We've seen this from alternate attacks. Never swagging a spell, always giving everything, because time could be the difference maker if everything else is tied up. And there we go, the third 3-star already of today.
Oh my god, I always have to laugh seeing this strategy. It just looks so funny, just like only witches one side. And it's just somehow like, I don't know, like those spawning troops are such a tricky troop, I feel like. But Alternate and us especially are doing this perfectly, getting the next 3-star on the board. And I feel like it was quite a quick one as well. So as you said, time is always, you should take that in consideration. But at the same time, we have to talk about like, are we now looking, since the start is pretty good for both teams, are we already looking like once again at a perfect war or something like that? And most of the time it is that you have the first, like the best ideas going first. So most of the time it's like starting off really good, and then like slowly getting like a bit worse plan-wise, not attack-wise, hopefully, but still like planning-wise. And then most of the time you have one of the safer option plans for the last attack, because that's the position, or like that's the player who has the most pressure. So let's see if they can just keep the momentum going for both sides, because so far this match is looking amazing, I guess.
Always interesting to hear your take, Itsu. Obviously, being in that position yourself throughout the previous World Championships, making sure that you are working as a team, you do just try and take down the bases you are confident with first, and there's always 1 or 2 that are a little bit more tricky that you do save until the end. We have Pasi now, and it looks like we have a similar smash attack that we've seen Ast open up the war with. Oh no, it was Yo-Yo open up the war with, my apologies. Let's see if 11 Original can replicate it.
Yeah, the only twist to this strategy right now is that he's not bringing any lightning. So he just wants to go in with the blimp nice and early. Wants to take out the Inferno Tower, it looks like, just to do off the clank guards as well. And it has a nice start for the queen charge, because most of the time you're starting this strategy with a queen charge, making sure the queen is taking out a huge part of the base already. But now he needs to be careful with those headhunters, but perfectly reset the queen with her attacks just to target those headhunters.
And she will slowly take that down. We did talk in the stream last week how important it is, if you are attacking at home, trying to lure the clan castle troops to the side of the map. It does sound basic, but just making sure you are not engaging them in the middle. Oh, his Super War Breaker took out the outside wall. I think that's actually what he wanted there, Itsu, to just allow a little bit extra pathing for the queen. And this should work out pretty nicely for him, because he still has 2 Super War Breakers to try and get in towards that central multi-target Inferno. But where is the queen going? Oh, she does step inside. Wow.
Really nice pathing from that queen over there. Now it's going to be interesting. Is he going to invest another Super War Break to get into the core, or is he letting the queen kind of like get access to the town hall? That seems what it looks like. He wants to charge to the town hall, wants to take that out as well. Starting with the P.E.K.K.A. smash, king on the outside, P.E.K.K.A. trying to let them walk inside. And then the witches on the outside as well. No, there are no witches actually in this army composition, I just found out. And now the super wizards in behind to take down the town hall with those P.E.K.K.A. together. And obviously the queen. All of that now grouping up. And yeah, starting the smash into the base.
Great Grand Warden's ability to protect everything through the Giga Bomb. Normally you want to protect these super wizards with that. They were standing a little bit further back, but the P.E.K.K.A. do manage to preserve their health. Healers switch off and the P.E.K.K.A. move forward. Where does the queen go here? She's a little bit vulnerable, still has the ability, needs to make sure that he can protect her through the center. She will be the troop responsible for the multi, but can she get it in time to help keep everything else moving through to the back end of the base? It looks like she might, Itsu. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh my god. Those P.E.K.K.A. are tanking perfectly. And we now have the queen taking down the multi. Now on the clan cast is bidding at the top side. We have already the royal champion getting placed as well. This is looking so good. There are no dangerous defenses just on this back end. He has still another freeze left. And as long as time is not ticking too quickly for Pasi, this is looking like the next 3-star. The P.E.K.K.A., the royal champ, everything, like everyone is trying their best at this point. The royal champ is going through. There is still 1 freeze left. If he wants to use that at any second now, it should be soon, I guess. There's the freeze. The troops at the bottom side take down the gold storage, and this means the last 2 biddings are going down. And the Level Original, once again, are repeating and getting the answer done, which is the next 3-star in this match. Wow, Judah, what is happening? We have 6 stars on the board, and with only 4 attacks overall on both sides, like 2 attacks on both sides, is looking pretty good, I would say.
I did not expect anything less from both of these teams. Obviously, we did see the perfect from alternate last week, but 11 Original did exactly what they needed to do against a team that had performed incredibly well in round 1 in that of Unicorns of Love. We seen Nerves of Steel from Pasi last week with his Queen charge, switching things up there, continuing to take advantage of the bases, and maybe this is 11 Original using different strategies to what they normally do to try and, well, just give themselves as good of a chance as they can. Everyone flawless at the moment, and it is Lenade stepping up to the plate for alternate.
Oh my god! I just love the creativity of alternate, because Queen Charge, Inferno Dragons, like no one else is doing that at the moment. Yes, we know the common like Inferno Dragon spam, but not Queen Charge Inferno Dragon. So really interesting choice. He did this already last week with the 3-star, and no one else so far has caught up to it. Maybe it's not tested, maybe it's just too different to what base builders are normally trying to go for. And now he has to wall break his queen into the next compartment, because this queen has to engage the next single Inferno Tower really soon. And then my guess would be that it's going to get wall break into the core, and then the Inferno Dragons are going to be placed in their town hall.
We know how good that Lenade is with his Queen charges. What I love is when we interviewed the players prior to this tournament, everybody gives a very specific strategy that is their favorite. Lenade said, I like the queen charge, and I adapt the final part of the attack. That's all he does. Queen charges and just takes whatever is in the meta, and that's why you see him really creating his own meta. Queen will be able to get access to the center Itsu, exactly like you said, due to that perfectly placed super wall breaker. And now you see, since she is taking that path, we have the Inferno Dragons coming in because they have now the pathing direct to the town hall. This looks very good as long as the Queen stays on her target to the center.
Yeah, there's another rage needed. He's perfectly using that, and now the Inferno Dragons are on the town who needs to use the ward ability soon. That's exactly what he's going to do. Maybe a freeze at the top side for the single Inferno Tower to make sure that his king is not getting killed too early, and that's exactly what he's doing. The Tesla farmer is being a little bit annoying right there, but still, there is so many Inferno Dragons still alive. Like, this Queen Charge is just taking down the entire base. This looks so good so far, with one freeze still left, and he has over 50 seconds left. Judo, this attack so far looks amazing.
Whenever you see a queen charge through majority of the base and the attacker still has the queen ability at the end, you always just have to applaud how skillful that is. Now the Royal Champion steps up. She is taking down a lot of the defenses and is going to be responsible for trying to finish this one off. Time could be a factor here. He still has one wizard trying to just wait. Archer Tower locks onto the queen so he can start that wizard. Time ticking down though. I'm not sure he's going to get through this now. The queen charge, as impressive as it was, just might have took a little bit too much time. 10 seconds remain, and although he has the strength to get through here, time ticks away and the 3-star slips away from Linnaid, 97%, and that now gives an opening for 11 Original to take the lead.
That was such an important defense right there. Even though it's a 97 defense, which is still a lot of percentage, but still, it is a defense, and that's the important thing. So from this point on, 11 Original has everything in their own hands, like in theory, obviously, but still, that's the position you want to be in. That's the position where you can put up a lot of pressure on the enemy team, and that's exactly what you would look for when facing a team like ATN. Like them. That was their first attack, not being a 3-star in this competition. Like, you have to think about that. That's a pretty good feeling at this position for the 11 Original crew, especially for the base builders over there. So let's see what they're coming up with next, and they're going in with the Super Witches with the bats. So I don't think that is the most common thing, and I'm not really sure if ATN predicted this. So let's see what exactly Burg is going to go for.
We've seen plenty of witch attacks last week and a pretty good hit rate as well. 11 Original obviously sees something in this base that makes them want to use the super witches. The Grand Warden taking a bit of damage, very careful on the healers, making sure not to deploy them until the air defense went down. Now the Grand Warden can be recuperated in health, and the Eagle Artillery is always a good defense to get down straight away, particularly when you are using a strategy, like you said, with spawner style troops, because you need to keep them alive. The more you have alive, the more troops you spawn, and it really is just an ever-going cycle that you basically have to keep your witches alive. You do not want them to go down, and you will be looking good from that point.
And now the logs are start rolling into the base, start taking down defenses and walls. And now the scatter, though, the log launcher now needs to be protected, because the scatter right now is dealing a ton of damage, but those logs are doing a great job to take down all of those buildings. We have now the Super Witches slowly make it into the base. The Clan Cast is out there as well. The enemy queen is taken down, and now the king is getting placed from the left side as well. Not sure why he has not placed that into the main squad either, but do you know that?
Yeah, an interesting approach. Maybe he wanted the king to run into the base, through the back door, if you will, towards the town hall. Or maybe he just wanted better pathing for the Royal Champion to sideswipe in towards the single target Inferno. It is an interesting move either way. Now we do see the Royal Champion coming through. Super Witch is well protected at this point. I always like to see 3 ice golems inside that log launcher, just to protect your main army. And time is ticking down fast here, Itsu. We have 1 minute left. and we are only into the 50%, but the bats, as long as he can protect them, normally do finish things up pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's right, but the one wizard tower is on the bats as well, so he had to invest all of the freezes really early. He needs some cleanup on the top left to get those percentages in, but the wizard tower is staying alive, and those bats do not have a fun time against that one. The super witches are still trying their best. The royal champ without her ability is going to fall against the single Inferno tower, and this is not looking as planned for Burak. He had the idea of sending in the king on the outside, having a bigger, like a back and push on obviously the pathing for the royal champ. But I feel like, not sure if that was the best decision. Maybe the king power in the core would have been helpful, but this is not looking like this would be a 3-star attack. And this means, even though 11 Original had the chance to push ahead, they now will fall behind on percentage, because this does not look like that would get above 90%. So Burak sadly is not making it. 83%, which is I would say a pretty low percentage on like the level which those teams are on. So that was not the attack they were looking for.
Particularly when both clans came out with 3 stars, it is definitely not the percentage that they needed. It gives ATN.aTTaX the chance to do their little dance again if they are to take the war back into their own hands. Like you said, if now the teams were to 3-star throughout, ATN.aTTaX, they're back in the driver's seat because they have the percentage point. So really, ATN.aTTaX, although they didn't get the 3-star and they slipped up, they wouldn't have been happy about that. They've got to be happy that in a tough situation against a great squad in that of 11 Original, they are still effectively in the lead.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel like bases like this, they look so interesting. Like, you see always those empty compartments in between of those key defenses, which look so interesting. And now we have Boom coming in with the Blizzard Lalo, an attack strategy which he's using in Legend right now, and he's so good with this. Wow. Take a look at where the Blimp has made it. Right onto the clan castle. So from this compartment he can take down the enemy Eagle, the enemy Inferno Tower, the X-Bows, even the enemy Royal Champion could be taken down, and this is just so much value. This is looking so good as an entry, but I feel like the last invisibility spell was a little bit too late, so the Eagle is not going down.
I think he wanted that Eagle most definitely. That's why he took specifically the amount of invisibility spells that he did. But like you said, the Super Wizards fell at the final hurdle before he could get that invisibility spell in. Let's see how he adapts to get the Eagle Artillery. I don't think it's going to be too difficult for him. Maybe even just a couple of loons to get in there. Probably doesn't want to send his Royal Champion. Or is he just going to drive his Queen in there and then walk her down to the area that he wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's going to place the Ice Golem with that Royal Champ together for the enemy Single Inferno Tower, and this is then pushing his King and Queen into that Royal Champion compartment, because he wants to take down the Scatter as well, because that's the next close compartment, so the Wall Break should target that, and that's what it looks like exactly. The next Wall Break can place, as I said, it's going right into that Royal Champ compartment, the wall. Oh no!
Oh no!
This scatter shot just one-shots the wall breaker, and this means he won't have access to the scatter shot. That is huge, and this is looking really good for the defense, but the Royal Champ is trying to somehow save this and somehow get the scatter out of the way.
Looks like the Super Wall Breaker might have damaged the wall, because the Queen was able to get through there after the scatter shot was taken down from the Royal Champion. Does mean that the Lalo has to go a little bit onto the inside of the base, but nothing too drastic here. Boom can definitely still rescue this. He does have the balloons over the top of the Town Hall. Takes a lot of damage there with his scatter shot, a couple of wizard towers. It's not looking particularly good here, but if anyone can do something, Boom is the man for the job. Like you said, he uses this in the Legends League all of the time. Defense is going down, but it's not going to be enough here. It is just too strong in the end. And another slip up from ATN.aTTaX means 11 Original could take it back into their hands again. What are we seeing here, Itsu? 3 stars after 3 stars, now dropping to the 2.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about in the beginning of the match, because like I said, the first attacks are always your best ideas. Like, whenever you have to give the attack order to the admins, or like overall, it is all about that you want to like have your best plans in the beginning, because for the other plans you might have some more room or some more time to plan them, or like maybe to get some other ideas on the base. But this is exactly what we're seeing right there. The first 2 attacks from both teams were flawless. And now we had 2 attacks where I feel like there were not a lot of mistakes from the attackers. It were mainly the plans itself, which didn't work out that great. Which means, as I said, the plans are kind of like structured that you always have the best plans first, then it's getting a little bit like worse. And then most of the time, the last attack is then again going to be a better or like a safer attack, because that's the plan where you have the most time with. So let's see if that's exactly the case. But so far, once again, we have another option for 11 Original to push ahead, because even though they might be behind on percentage, they still have the chance to push this further on star level, because if they're going to get the next 3-star, they're going to lead with 1 star.
Totally. And it is the Queen Charge Hybrid. First time we have seen this today, Itsu, and we've seen at the start of the stream just how popular this was, as well as its hit rate. Is this the moment where 11 Original take the lead in this war? Starting off with the Yeti Blimp. Looks like he gets pretty good damage onto the scatter shot there, dropping the Blimp directly onto it. Always like to see the precision deployment of the Blimp. Just means you can get a little bit better value with the Yeti Mites. Although he does get the air defense in this one. Very nicely done. Lures out the Clan Castle troops and can deal with that pretty nicely.
Yeah, and there's the first wall break, giving the Queen the access to the enemy Eagle. And then it's going to be interesting where he's trying to go next. He has 2 more wall breaks. Not really sure what the wall break is going to target next. Maybe the corner at this air defense. Let's see what exactly he's going to use the wall breakers for. But it seems like the Lava Pups actually got rid of 1 healer, which is huge. Like, even though he has not hit a single Black Mine just yet, he already lost a healer just because of those Lava Pups going completely crazy. So the Queen, so far, the Queen Charge looks good. There should be a Kokodu next as soon as the air defense is going down. That's exactly what he's doing. And then the Queen Charge is just going for that Town Hall, going for that Eagle, and then going into the town direction next.
I was going to say, that is quite a lengthy Queen Charge there, Itsu. Eve Carlito is the Queen Charge Hybrid specialist. He does like to attack first, so maybe this is a moment where he just needed a little bit extra time to plan. Let's see whether that actually pulls him in the 3-star. 1 minute 30 left. Hasn't started the hybrid yet, but there it is. Just wanted his Queen to get access to that multi-target Inferno. Thin the line here for the hybrid to dive in directly towards the Town Hall with the King on the outside of the base. Like the use of the Royal Champion in there as well, just to help take down the enemy heroes. But he does still have a Headhunter, which he will probably deploy either to the northwest side of the base or when he's about to use the Warden ability. But it looks like he should be using that any moment for the Town Hall as they approach it.
Yeah, it's so much damage on the hybrid. Perfect use of the Warden ability. Headhunter can be placed now as well. That's exactly what he's doing. The Queen is getting access to the next Inferno Tower compartment as well with taking this wall down. And now it's all about the backend. He has 1 heal left, which he has to use for the bomb tower and scatter combination. But Judo, this is looking really good for Carlito. And so far, with the Royal Champion still alive, this looks good power-wise. But we already had this case where power was enough, but time was the issue because there's only 30 seconds left in this attack.
He still has the Queen ability, which he's trying to hold on to because of that single target Inferno. Oh no, he's had to use it. The miners have gone to the outside. The ones on the inner portion of the base go down. They don't protect the Royal Champion. The single will take down the Queen, and can you believe that it is going to be a factor of time here? Maybe the miners wouldn't have got through this section. 11 Original so close to taking the lead, but again, it's not happening for them. They are still trailing on percentage now. They really needed that because moving into the last attack, if alternate get the 3, unfortunately, it is all over.
Yeah, now it's up to alternate, and that's not a position where you would like to have alternate in because they are normally so good at this. So especially with, I think Vale is still up, right? So the MVP of the Clash Worlds 2020 World Championship is still up there. Oh, I'm super excited to see what he's going in with next because, as I said, Vale is super flexible when it comes down to the strategy choice, which is one of his biggest powers. So, I mean, should we try to predict what is going to come from Vale? Just trying it, just trying it. I mean, we should try it, right?
You were pretty good with your predictions last week.
I mean, I think I'm going with dragons.
Oh, I was going to say witches. Oh,
Yes!
Look at that! Dragons it is! So he is using the lightning spells. He had a heroic recovery last week with the single balloon to take down, wasn't it the Eagle Artillery? You can always see highlights of the wars on the COC Esports Twitter page if you miss parts of it. Really, there are just incredible moves by the pro players. But this one starting off exactly how he wants at this point is to funnels the dragons in. They go to the base, and I love the stone slammer just off to the side. You often don't get very good value with that if you send it in with the dragons, since it's a little bit slow. So I think it's wise for Vale to send that into the 6 o'clock area.
Yeah, he's just trying to create pathing for his dragons so they're not splitting too much. As soon as the clan caster, as the baiting is going down, he's deploying his heroes as well, because he does not want to lure out a possible, like a hound or something like that. So really good choice over there. We have now the wall break to the town hall, and now the dragons have split up quite a bit, but he has the royal champion left as well. His king and queen obviously are still alive, and at this point now it's getting a little like messy when it comes down to the splits. But I think so far, like power-wise, this is looking really good. He's using a perfect freeze for the Town Hall and the single Inferno Tower. And this should now take down the Inferno Tower. And Judo, this is looking really good because the World Champion is not even deployed yet.
Not deployed, and he has the king ability, the queen ability. There is not a lot of major defenses left. There is one expo that could cause him a little bit of an issue, but the royal champion can jump the walls in order to get in there. She's only just deployed. Let's see where she goes, but from this point out, Itsu, I think it is pretty much nailed on. There would have to be something really bad happening here. His king does go down though, leaving his royal champion vulnerable, and that one expo could be the difference maker here if the royal champion cannot get onto it early. Let's see if there's any skelly traps or anything in this area. Royal champion soldiering on. Can she get the expo? Stepping up, and there it happens. Royal champion takes it down. It will be the 3-star for Vale, and this means that alternate attacks have taken the war back into their hands, and they will be progressing to tomorrow's finals. A fantastic fight from 11 Original, but it's not enough, unfortunately. But can they finish off with a 3-star and make sure that they leave the warm-up tournament in style, getting ready for this year's World Championships in itself?
Yeah, it was a great performance either way from 11 Original. Like, just the start of this match was so action-packed, and pushing the World Champion, so, like, Orton has had to get, like, everything into this match. I feel like this match was super close, and 11 Original might go to force this onto like the tiebreaker on the percentage, but still, like, let's hope they're going to get the great momentum going into the further year in the competition. Everything finishing off this tournament with a triple would be definitely helping for them.
Yes, and I'm sure they have the capability of doing so. It's definitely not the last we will see of 11 Original. Like you said, starting out the war and really just putting the pressure on alternate attacks. In the end, though, they have been in this situation again and again. That's why they are the world champions. A lot of people interested to see how they would perform in this tournament, taking a good portion of the off-season off from the game, but they are showing that they still mean business, and I'm excited to see how they progress tomorrow and who they will be facing after the rest of today's matches.
Yeah, like from this point on there, I mean, obviously we started with 24 incredibly good teams, and now with only 8 teams left, it's just like the best of the best. And we have now Eve Mar coming in with the Queen Charge Lalo, his special ability, if you want to say that. He has done an amazing job so far with this strategy, and he's bringing once again the jump spell, which we have seen a couple of times is getting used on top of those empty compartments to get access to the core.
Yeah, I always like to see a good old-fashioned Queen Charge Lalo. It really does require so much technical specifics, and that's like you said, Itsu. The plans towards the end of the war do tend to be the ones with the lengthy Queen Charges, maybe the Lalos that do require a little bit more extra time. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Eve Mark can finish off in style for 11 Original. Very controlled at the moment. Nice super wall breaker access for the Queen in towards the Eagle. Just trying to set up the pathing here for his Lava Loon. And he is well, giving it everything he can because the king is diving in towards the scatter shot at the bottom. Oh, he's not. He's walked on the outside, but maybe he's just going to finish that off with the Lalo anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of... I'm not sure, because I don't... Like, this was not the plan for him. This was not the plan for him to charge into this compartment. So he has to completely adapt on the fly. He's now charging in between of a single Inferno Tower and a multi-Inferno Tower, which is obviously not the optimal thing to have. He's having to invest a lot of loons and now the slammer as well to somehow push the queen into the right direction. And this is a lot of damage on that queen. So she has to somehow survive this. Otherwise, the healers are kind of like worthless at this point. And this is always the risky part about Queen Charge Lalo. And there's just so much damage on the Queen. Let's hope that she can at least take down the Scatter and maybe even the Sweeper.
I think she will. She was under a lot of fire there because of the scatter in the center. Unfortunately, the healers are locked on from the multi, and he can't really do anything. Doesn't want to commit the freeze spells, I would say, to that, because he will need that for the Lalo. We are down to the last 50 seconds, and the Lalo continues on, but with that back-end multi-target Inferno, he really needs the Royal Champion to do work here. Itsu pressing that ability, pinging through the Tesla. That is awesome to try and move towards the scatter. Froze the enemy queen. I think she just about went down as he froze, though, so maybe he didn't really need to do that, but did protect his Royal Champion either way.
Yeah, the freeze would have had to be a little bit earlier to keep his Royal Champion a little bit more health, because I feel like the Royal Champion could have finished off this base easily, but now it's up to the Warden and the last remaining loons. Can those loons with the Warden together finish off this base? Yes, 19 seconds left. The dragon is coming as well. The red mines are coming as well, though, and they're trying to catch up quickly, but this is still a couple of minions with the Warden, with the dragon. It's 8 seconds left with 3 buildings, and this is looking like a solid attack for Eve Mark. And even though the entry went so wrong, he still managed to triple this, and Mark is doing it again. Great Queen Charge Lalo from him, and this means it was a 13-13 match. Only the percentage in the end were the deciding factor. Congrats to ATN.aTTaX to moving to the next round.
A fantastic attack to finish off the war. Like you said, trying to adapt there as well with the Queen Charge. Hats off to Eve Mark. A brilliant performance by 11 Original. 13-13, holding the world champions to percentage. But that is why they are world champions. They managed to pull through anyways. 98% total destruction. Just those couple of attacks with things slipping up. And what a matchup, Itsu, to start off today's stream.
Yeah, just thinking about that, this was just the first match, and we have 3 more matches to go. This, oh my goodness, I just can't wait for it. I'm so excited for this, but I think before we're jumping to the next match, you have a really cool replay to show, right?
Yes, I wanted to break down the Dragbat attack that we did see because, as we mentioned during that attack, we don't really see the dragons used very often. So I do want to try and highlight that as well. Eve Kale doing a very good job here. And notice the hero dive initially. It does a number of things. He's trying to set up pathing for his dragons, and he's also trying to eliminate splash damage, because you have to think the splash damage is getting taken out for the bats, whereas the pathing is very important for the dragons. And if you can take down anything that's going to help the dragons as well, then that's going to be advantageous. So his Royal Champion takes down the single target Inferno and the air defense at the west side of the base, you see, as she also takes down a couple of wizard towers, which for the bats is key. Now you notice the 9 o'clock area, that western side of the base, pretty much completely gone. It means the dragons can move in from the southern area, and they have a clear path through the base. Meanwhile, the queen is sent up towards the town hall. So I like the synchronization he has between the different phases of his attack here. And with the dragons, it's all about waiting until they get to where you want prior to using the bats. So he has to make sure they get through the multi-target Inferno, and I believe he even waits until the optimal time for the dragons to tank the scatter shot, because if you lose bats, we did see in one of the other attacks, it can be devastating. Notice the Stone Slammer as well. I did hint to this during the commentary, but if you're using it alongside the dragons, you do want to try and offset it to the side of the dragons, because it can be a little bit slow and not get too much value if you're sending it with the dragons. If you're sending the battle blimp though, send it right on through with the dragons. Now you see the bats from the top area of the base. They can gain momentum by the time they get to the wizard tower. And to be honest, he doesn't even need all of the freeze spells because the dragons have managed to get through. There you see the dragons to the bottom right of the screen that I was talking about during the commentary that we couldn't quite see. I can't really count how many he has left here, but either way, it was a perfectly planned attack by Eve Carle, showing that if you break down the base, use the troops to their advantage, the dragons getting the pathing, taking out splash damage with those, and using the bats to swoop the back end of the base, you can tear things down in style. And I really like that that was an attack which isn't necessarily top of the meta, but shows how crushing it can be when you choose the right base. But here we go. A matchup that I am very much looking forward to is to Nishang Dance, the attacking masterminds, if you will, in Clash of Clans, versus TOMPINAI Empire, who not only had attack, but they had such an incredible defensive performance last week as well.
Yeah, this match, as you just said, I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to be so interesting to see which power kind of is going to show off more in this match, because there was like a lot of questions towards the players in the beginning of this tournament, and a lot of them said they're kind of scared of the attacking power of Nishang Dance, and they're one of the most creative teams and with their own style of attack, which is a really good thing in the current meta because it's hard to defend against. So knowing that TOMPINAI Empire at the same time though had a like flawless defense last weekend, it's going to be interesting to see like which side of like the power is going to be worth it more, I guess, or which one is better. And well, right now we can see the team rosters and the players which are going to be showing off their skills in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah, exactly, because I mean, you can be as strong as you want on offense, but if you don't quite have the defense, you might not get it if you can't go flawless. I mean, if you can get a perfect war, then your defense doesn't matter. You could just throw up whatever you want, but you have to assure that you do get that perfect war. And last week, we didn't really see too many of them. We've seen the odd perfect war, but we did see for the most part just the one little slip up, and it was kind of the 14-star region that was more popular. That for TOMPINAI Empire as well, just slipping up right at the end, but holding back a powerful team like NGT Legends to a 10-star war was something that I was most impressed with. So I mean, it's difficult to predict this one, I would say.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I don't even try to predict this because, I mean, we have so good teams right now, and that it's always coming down as well to the performance which they can show at this specific day, I would say. So really looking forward to this match. I hope we're going to see a ton of creative attacks. Really looking forward to the smash attacks of Nishang Dance. They're so good with them. And I'm trying to learn those right now as well in Legend, and that's something which they're doing as well. This is why they're so creative, so good with those strategies, because all of them are pushing on Legends, and they're so up there as well, and being Hey,
well, we do apologize for the technical difficulties there. Sometimes these things do happen, unfortunately, when we are live on the internet, doing things online, if you will. So we will get directly into the matchup. I know that the match has been going on in the background, Itsu. Hopefully we do get to see the replays. And like I was saying, I'm super hyped about this matchup. I think maybe the hype has dropped the stream. Maybe that's what happened.
It was just too much hype to handle for the stream. That's what happened for sure. I mean, we talked about the teams already, about the offense power, the defense power. I mean, it is just so incredible to watch those players live, and especially the creativity level, which I was talking about with Nishang Dance. I feel like it is something where a lot of people are scared of when facing against them, because even though you're using the same strategy as them, it's a complete different attack, and this is something which is really key right now in the current meta, where you can kind of predict what is coming, but at the same time not. So let's see. And we have the next attacker coming in, and that is Tian, who has done an amazing job of 3-starring most of the bases, and this is with Super Witches.
Yes, and just looking at the scoreboard, I'm sure we will be updated as to what happened in the background, because it looks like the first attacks went in, but obviously the first attacks we will need to get updated on exactly what happened there. Nevertheless, let's dive into the attack with Tian using the Super Witches, as you said. Interesting to save off a couple of healers. Is that just because of the air defense here, do you think, Itsu? Just wanting to make sure that it's not baited or anything like that? Or, I mean, it's a tough call to just send his healers in, unless he wants a couple of healers on the Super Witches, maybe.
Yeah, he wants to have the healers right onto the Super Witches, because right now it's a bit strange when and how the healers transition over, and this is why you're delaying some of the healers sometimes when there's not too much damage on the ward, and that was exactly the case. So great Kokudun so far. He has to rage this most likely up really soon, especially to get through the enemy hound kind of quickly. That's exactly what he's doing. Queen is coming back actually to kind of join the party, and now we have the King of the Outsiders here trying to deal with all of those defenses. The P.E.K.K.A is finally on the enemy royal champion. Now slowly those Super Witches are making it into the core, with still the Warden ability not used.
This is one thing we tend to see with the Super Witches. They can be a little bit slow. You don't need to use the Warden ability on the Town Hall. Nicely uses it in the center for the multi, the scatter shot, the enemy queen, all of the expos. When you are really taking that damage, look at the Super Wall Breaker Itsu at the top of the screen to allow the Valkyries in towards that center of the base. Will they go there? Will they not? The Super Witches can get over to that area either way. This is where we talk about the creativity from Nishang Dance, and he still has 2 Super Wall Breakers to continue allowing his troops in and out of the different compartments.
That is so cool, with those Super Wall Breakers making this base look completely like, even, I mean, yes, there are openings in the walls, but even he's making those even bigger, so his Super Witches can easily access the next compartment. With this Royal Champ ability still not used, it's looking pretty good, but at the same time we know Super Witches are not the fastest troop in the game, so with only 30 seconds left, this is going to be really close, Judo. This is going to be so close to finish off this attack, because there's only 25 seconds left, and there is still 10% of the base left, and this Builder Huts needs to go down as well.
Really interesting that he saved the Super Wall Breaker for that Archer Tower. It did go down. I think the Builder Hood could be the difference maker. Is the Queen in that area to help out? Oh, it's the Super Witches. Sorry, I couldn't even see there properly. He is going to get this one. Tian with the 3 stars for Nishang Dance. And we will indeed be catching up on replays, updating the war as we move through. But Nishang Dance, as we tune back in with the 3-star Itsu. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, great job, like making sure the Super Witches are being able to circle the entire base with those Super Wall Breaks. Really great addition to that. And yeah, now it's up to, once again, the response of TOMPINAI Empire to like keep pushing this match further. And obviously their defense being so far pretty strong as well. Let's see. We're going to take a look obviously at what happened as well a little bit later. And yeah, next attack is going to be soon.
Yes, we will be sure to update you at home as to the attacks that we missed. We will show them at the end of the war as well once we get through and move through the attacks here. But Nishang Dance spinning things around there with the 3 stars. TOMPINAI Empire, though, looks like they started off with a 3-star themselves, meaning to continue as they left off last weekend, Itsu. And we talked about their defense. Maybe it did come in super strong there. But let's focus on the next attack. Al-Mu'alin with the Lava Loon. We know how much he enjoys this strategy. And the lightning variation, taking out the central area of the base.
Yeah, both sweepers though are still up there, which means he still needs to take one of those down most likely. Those air sweepers are sometimes really not the greatest to face in a Lalo attack, but so far this looks really great, especially considering that he's about to face a super mini clan castle, which is way more enjoyable to face when doing one of those hero dives. And so far the King is doing a great job taking everything, and as well in that poison taking down the enemy queen. So this looks once again like a good solid entry, even triggering the tornado, which would be a huge mess in facing during the Lalo.
Yes, you always want to try and get that tornado trap down if you can. and it just means that you know your balloons are not going to get drawn into a splash damage defense. I always like to see these huge hero dives as we take out the entire western side of the base. Queen has the ability, so she should be able to get in towards that single as well, but the Lava Loon in from the right-hand side. Early stab towards the Eagle Artillery. The Air Sweeper won't really do too much here with the Battle Blimp moving all of the way through to the Town Hall, hopefully. Grand Warden's ability protects it en route.
Yeah, the Blimp is slowly making it. The first Black Mine is catching it, but there is no Tornado, as we already said. Now we have the Sneaky Goblins getting out of the Clan Castle, and there are so many of them. There are the Sneaky Goblins, and they should easily take down the town, even though the town is firing non-stop, but that is looking really good so far. This Lalo is getting far, especially considering that he has 1 haste, 1 freeze, still not even used at this point. And there's only 20% of this base left. With over 1 minute, Judo, I think this is looking so good for IB Lin and especially TOMPINAI Empire, with like taking a look at their defense as well. And they are so far 2 out of 2 in this match. And this is exactly what we expected from TOMPINAI Empire coming into this match.
So far ahead. I just have to say that personally, I love the Battle Blimp there with the Sneaky Goblins, making sure that the balloons were just out of reach of the Giga Bomb, something that we don't always see because we kind of default to the Grand Warden's ability for the Giga Bomb. So just those little things are what I always like to see at this level. But yes, Itsu, you did point out the scoreboard. It is indeed correct. I know we dropped things for a little while there, tuning back in. Nishang Dance, unfortunately, with the 1 star in their opening attack, means they trail to TOMPINAI Empire by 2 stars here. So it is going to be, well, pretty much a mountain for them to climb right now.
Yes, it's, looking forward to see what went wrong over there, or like what exactly the base looks like. I mean, we all need new legend bases, right? So that's what we all need. So always looking forward to that. And now with the next attack for Nishang Dance, they need to 3-star non-stop. And at the same time, they have to hope for their defenses to somehow do amazing work, maybe even getting 1 star on their defense as well, which is really unlikely, seeing the consistency so far of TOMPINAI Empire.
Yeah, we did only see one star last weekend, so it is something that doesn't really happen very often. And like you said, when it does, everyone has to scout out those bases because they are very impressive if you can hold people back to that 1 star. Really just trip them up, if you will. And with the ferocity of TOMPINAI Empire, I cannot see them slipping up at this point. I think the war is very much in their hands, and they just need to assure that they, I wouldn't say play it safe, but just play as they normally do. Pull in those 3 stars, and I'm sure they can hold this one out. But if anybody, any team has a chance of coming back, I would say it is Nishang Dance.
Yeah, we're looking to a really interesting setup. Like, he is bringing a Queen Charge Lalo, which is not that uncommon in itself, I would say, but at the same time, bringing the Lock Launcher. Let's see if he's going to switch that up, or let's see if he's going to stick to that. I just hope, like, please stick to the Lock Launcher and please make some more crazy move somehow. And yeah, he is going to stick to that. Let's go. Let's see how far those logs can roll, and let's see how much he can take out with that.
I did say when the log launcher was first released, I thought it would be very good for Queen charges. Now, he's not really sending the Queen in that direction. I thought he was for a moment, but by breaking open the wall to the Eagle, he's actually just using the log launcher to take out the scatter shot and does not activate the Town Hall either. That was amazing.
What is that hound? Why is there a hound flying out of the log launcher across the base? What is going on?
I think he wanted to test the inside of the base, yeah, for traps. Or is he? Oh, he's sending the Queen there anyway. Yeah, interesting. Really interesting.
Yeah. I'm really not sure about this because now the MuZhan Tower is on those healers, and this attack is looking not really sure about this. The Tornado Trapper's over there as well at that Town Hall. He needs to use the Warden ability really soon to protect the Loons against that Town Hall. The Sweeper is on the Loons as well, but they should safely make it through that Town Hall. But there's still a lot of things on the back end, especially with the Queen and the healers going down.
Wow.
I'm not sure.
what a freeze spell in the center in order to make sure his queen took out the scatter shot and the enemy queen. But like you said, Itsu, it is a little bit scary getting down to the end here. His balloons are taking too much damage. A really interesting approach. Sometimes you do have to take risks. Sometimes risks that can baffle us as viewers and casters, but it's not paying off here for the Moon either way. Whatever his plan was, it just didn't have enough. Maybe he wanted his queen to survive a little bit longer and take out this top area with the multi. Not happening, and it means Nishang Dance trail even further now in this war.
Yeah, we talked about this. They had to get the 3-star to stay in this match and still have a chance. And yeah, they didn't. I don't know what type of insane base building this is from TOMPINAI Empire, because holding back Nishang Dance to such an amount of stars is really impressive. It's really, really impressive. And I mean, so far, TOMPINAI Empire has shown that their defense is one of the best in the tournament so far. So with this having in mind, and at the same time saying that TOMPINAI Empire is one of the strongest teams on offense as well, they're looking really good for not only this match, but as well for the rest of the tournament.
Totally agree. I mean, they have had 8 defenses so far. Obviously, 5 defenses in last week's matchup, 3 so far today. And out of those 8 matches, they've only conceded 1 3-star. There is not another team in the world that has bases that can do that right now. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing how they progress. And if you are watching at home and looking for bases, TOMPINAI Empire, right now, this is the team you need to be watching. But we can also see how good they are attacking as well with Mechuo and the Queen Charge Lalo. They always impress me. It doesn't matter what the current state of the meta is. They can use Queen Charge Lalo all day long. Always impresses me.
Yeah, I mean, they have used this since they have started playing Clash of Clans. I feel like they have used this already like 2 years ago in the World Championship. And already back then, it was always so hard to defend that. And now we see the Queen charge into that Town Hall. I mean, that's most likely going to be where the Queen is planned to go to. With a nice blimp in the beginning. We see those Yeti blimps are a really common thing nowadays in combination with Queen charges, because you can use them on so many different levels, just to take down an Inferno Tower, take down the Town Hall with the Rage, for example, and always throwing out the Clan Castle early, because it's just saving you so many spells if you do not have to face the Clan Castle inside the base. And this so far is looking once again like a really solid attack. Should funnel the Queen inside with this Yeti taking down the Arch Tower and the Sneaky Goblin as well, taking down the gold storage. The Queen has no other choice than taking down the Town Hall next.
Beautiful combination there to set up the funnel and just force the Queen on the inside of the base, assuring it.
He raged, or he hasted kind of the Queen into the Town explosion. That was really, really close. Now with the King walking inside the top side, this is not looking too bad. Sorry, Judo.
No, I mean, if you see something, Itsu, just dive right on in there. That was perfect. The King and RC are taking out that top area, and I love the Super Wall Breakers. What is going on right now? He's busted all of the way to the inside of the base. 1 minute 14 when he starts the Lalo, but the Queen can take out the scatter, the multi, shred the inside of the base so that the Lalo just has to loop around, drives in towards the Eagle first, a wise move, and he's going to have to save the freeze for the scatter shot at the back end. But he has so many balloons right now, Itsu. This looks incredible.
This looks amazing, and some people are using jump spells to get inside the base. TOMPINAI Empire using just wall breakers, that's everything they need, and the Lalo is just cruising on the back end of this base. Just keep freezing the scatter, that's the important thing. Void ability is still not used, and with the invisibility spell, I think that's a good shot at the 3-star if the time is enough, and if those minions can do an amazing work on the cleanup.
Yeah, I mean, I was intrigued as to whether he was going to turn the balloons invisible or the Tesla farm invisible to drive the balloons to the multi-target Inferno. Didn't really need to worry about it in the end because he had so many balloons that they crushed that area of the base. TOMPINAI Empire continue their 3-star streak, and they are 3 stars in the lead now, Itsu. What a dominating performance right now.
That is unbelievable. I mean, 3 out of 3, and on defense, like technically 0 out of 3. Yes, Nishang Dance had the 3-star, but at the same time the 1-star. So overall, it's like 0 out of 3, I would say.
They cancel each other out.
Yeah, like it is really impressive so far. And considering that this is versus Nishang Dance, like one of the strongest teams on offense, this impresses me even more. So I don't know what changed for TOMPINAI Empire for this tournament, but they are starting off into the new year, into the new season of the World Championship and Worlds Warmup tournament, obviously, with a lot of confidence, I would say.
Yeah, they have managed to just really throw themselves into this esports scene as arguably one of the favorites right now. Looking at how they are performing, they are cruising towards tomorrow's matches. They aren't quite there yet, but they are within touching distance of it. But ATN.aTTaX will be waiting for them because that's who they will be facing, and that will most certainly be an interesting matchup. But they do need to get there first. It is GYY with the Lava Loon himself. Let's see if we can replicate what TOMPINAI Empire did to maybe keep Nishang Dance in this. Yeah, I mean, he's got to get the 3 stars either way.
Yeah, like the Queen Charge Lalo always is an interesting strategy to watch, and especially like seeing the pros sometimes use like 2 hounds, sometimes like only 1 hound. It is always like a really base dependent setup, but overall the strategy is just so strong overall. So let's see if he can do the same what just TOMPINAI Empire did to their bases. And so far the Queen Charge is looking strong. It was a really nice thing in the beginning, just targeting the outside wall to get the Queen inside. Now he has no more wall breakers left. He's just relying at this point on his Queen, choosing where she wants to go next and just waiting and adapting. Because there are no more jump spells, there are no more wall breaks. At this point, it's just like the Queen is going to decide whatever is going to happen next. And so far, it looks like she is going to decide to go for this scattered compartment, which is never a bad thing.
Yeah, really looking good at this stage. Just making sure to funnel those buildings on the outside to just drive the Queen into that bottom compartment. Starts with the Stone Slammer. I think that's intended for that multi-target Inferno in the center of the base. As the Lava Loon comes around the top of the base, hopefully that will funnel the Stone Slammer exactly where he needs it. Haste the balloons in. This is similar to, as you were mentioning last week, Itsu, driving your siege machine into the correct area of the base. There we see it, but a lot of the balloons have split. They're moving across to this area, and he's got to be careful now, Itsu, with the Town Hall activated.
Yeah, the one is not really following to the Town Hall Loons. He's still in the core. The town needs to go down, but the Tornado Trap is doing such a good job at rotating those Loons away, and oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Is this...
RC shield, beautiful, yes!
Oh, nice save right there.
I was just about to say, he hasn't deployed the Royal Champion. If he uses the shield, he could rescue all of these balloons. I didn't think it would turn out like this, to the point where he rescued the attack. GYY with the RC shield of the century, turning the 2-star, no doubt, into the 3-star with the King ability left, the Queen ability left. What a turnaround here, and the 3 stars it is, just showing that Nishang Dance, whilst it's not looking incredible in this war, they want to put up the performance. They want to show us at home that they are indeed ready for this year, and they are keeping the pressure going here. TOMPINAI Empire, though, they've got everything in their hands.
Yeah, and they're the Lalo Kings, I would say, right now. They're so good with the strategy, and really looking forward if they keep using that or if they're going to switch things up at some point. So far, they've done a lot of Lalo attacks, like some sort of like hero dive Lalos with like lightnings, without Queen Charge Lalo as well. So we have to see and wait if they keep going with their Queen Charges and like Lalo variations, or if they're going to mix things up. But I feel like so far, why should they change anything? Why should they change anything if it's working so great for them right now?
And I feel there's two different ways you can approach this. You can either have such a diversity of attacks that people don't know what you are going to attack with, or you can attack with one specific strategy to the point where that is what your opponent anticipates, but you know that you have other skills, and when they put up bases, you can take advantage of the weaknesses. Now we see a little bit of variety with these super witches, and we know that, well, we know from last season, Riga Torres, the TOMPINAI Empire team captain, said that one of their main focuses was to try and expand their variety of attacks.
Yeah, that's for sure one of the key things to have in store for like the competitive stages, because otherwise you're getting too predictable if you can't really like change the attack strategy in the attack strategy. And what I mean by that, by saying that, it's like different approaches to the same strategy can always be really hard to defend, because some teams have a different understanding of strategies. Even though it's the same P.E.K.K.A smash, some people are using like a blimp, some people are using like a different siege machine, some people are using the queen charge in different ways, some people are using the warden walk. So there are tons of different variations out there, and that's always like so many things you have to think about. But at the same time, this witch attack, the super witch attack, looks good so far. He's investing the jump early on because he's not really sure about if the super wall break is going to target their wall. So he's just saying, okay, I will just go with the jump, and that's what he's doing right now.
Well, it's looking pretty good, as he does have everything moving into this side. Notice the king and the siege barracks. Interesting to see what he's got inside the siege barracks there in order to take out the eagle, unless he just sends the RC down that side of the base as well, which is probably what he is going to do. Clan Castle troops come out here, causing a little bit of distraction, but he has so much HP with the super witches that it's not really going to matter too much. And with only splash damage left, I think it's more a matter of time here, Itsu.
Yeah, this looks really good, but one key thing which he did was that he invested raged headhunters to take down all of the stacked heroes in the core. So he used the warden ability with the rages to take down every single hero really quickly. So that was pretty cool to see. But now we have the super witches kind of like slowing down with having the back end walls, but the warden is doing an amazing... No, warden, come back. You did a great job. I just wanted to give him a huge like props to take the scatter down, and now he's switching to the wizard tower. What is he doing?
Well, the super witches do break through. They will take that down, and with the royal champion being raged over to the other side of the base, it is going to be another 3-star by TOMPINAI Empire. Wow, Itsu, they are showing the top level of Clash of Clans right now. We've seen it last weekend, but offense and defense, they are just incredible. There's no other word for it. I can't believe what we are seeing.
Yeah, being they're just so good. I mean, I'm out of words for their performance so far. Like, as I said, offense and defense. And we talked about like the mental point about the players as well. And like, obviously I would like to talk about the positioning for TOMPINAI Empire going to the next stage of the tournament, because from this point on, I think it's fair to say that they're going to most likely advance to the next round. So going into the next round, especially against Alternate, with a performance like this, I think they can be really relaxed. And I cannot wait for the matchup already tomorrow. Like that is going to be in a crazy matchup. But we still have a couple of attacks left. One for Nishang Dance, one for TOMPINAI Empire. So Nishang Dance still, they now have to look at what is next tournament-wise and try to get some more momentum. Okay, we had an unfortunate start into this match, especially having a 1-star in the beginning is like a huge downside for the entire team, because like obviously the person who 1-star, like it happens sometimes, even though it is unfortunate, I would say. But at the same time, the entire team feels really down after that, because the player itself obviously feels really sorry, and it's going to be most likely kind of quiet on voice or like on the planning. The other teammates don't really know what they should do, so it's kind of a tricky situation, especially having the first attack being a 1-star. Like the last attack, that's a different story, but the first one, that's really unlucky timing. Now we have the next attack though, and this one's going to be a Queen Charge hybrid with the early Blimp once again to lure up the Clan Castle, take down enemy Warden and Scatter, and that's already a lot of value.
It certainly is, and I love that you were just mentioning the team aspect there, Itsu. Just wanted to say that Su, the team captain here, will be doing everything that he can to keep Nishang Dance's heads held high. And that is exactly what's happening, but the Lava Hound, Itsu, is stuck by the Yeti, and it's not making its way over to the Queen. How far into the base will he get before it engages? It's not going to be too bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too bad as long as no expos or like single phone towers, things like that are on the Queen. I don't think it's like too big of a problem. So this is still looking really good. The Queen is even taking down the Eagle first, and now there's not a single defense on that Queen, so she should take down the Hound really easily. So perfect timing right there. And now it's going to be interesting to see what the next move is, because obviously there is the possibility of wall breaking to the enemy Royal Champion platform, which allows the hybrid to come in from the top side. But this, once again, would be super risky. But maybe they're just saying, let's go. Oh, they're coming from the bottom side. The pathing is not the best, but I think it should be all right.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I mean, the wall break there was perfect. Made sure to take that wall section down, or at least get the wall breaker targeted before the minion took down the platform. As long as the Queen can get down this multi before the hybrid starts to split, I think he's pretty good. As he does, hybrid moves up to the town hall. He's losing a bit of force here, and he does have some high HP buildings to get through before getting to the town hall, saving that Grand Warden's ability. Giant bomb about to go off. Oh, I think he might have, or he should have pressed it a little bit earlier, I feel, just to protect some of those troops, because they do get through the town hall and survive a little bit longer. Gets to the scatter. It's difficult to call here, Itsu, but with a heal and a freeze, I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's not looking too bad. It's all about the back end. The Royal Champ needs to, I just want to say, stay out of range of that single Inferno tower, but there was a nice freeze to keep that Royal Champion alive. And with having nearly 40 seconds left, I think this is looking really, really solid. Great attack to finish off this war for the Nishang Dance side, making sure they're going to 3-star and getting another couple of stars on the board. So great job to them. Really nice recovery. And yeah, just an unfortunate start for them. But there's still one attack to go for TOMPINAI Empire, where I have to say I'm really looking forward to that and see what they're going to come up with next. Because so far, Lalo, now just a Super Witch attack. What is next? Like, that's going to be interesting to see.
Let's see what they have up their sleeve, but they just need to close this one out. I mean, they just need anything really to win this war due to the unfortunate 1-star that we did have from Nishang Dance, and also the other bases that have held them off as well. We will be taking a look at the replays that we unfortunately missed at the start of this war after the war has ended, but we do want to finish things off with the final attack here by TOMPINAI Empire before we do that. And what do I want to say? Witches or Lalo? Let's see how good your prediction is here then, Itsu. I'm going to say Lalo.
Okay, so I think Rigo Torres is left, and he likes to do Lalo. So I guess he's going to go for a Queen Charge Lalo, maybe. Not sure. I was safer with the prediction with Vale earlier, because I feel like when he's going last, he's most of the time liking to go with dragons. I don't know, maybe that was just like a feeling, but let's see. It's Lalo, so you're right. And yeah.
We're both right. Lightning Lalo, but let's see where he is going to use the lightning. Is it going to be for the Queen and the scatter shot over in that area? I think that would give him pretty good value, and then maybe hero dive either the Town Hall and scatter or the Eagle. Let's see. I mean, the Queen has already walked past the scattershot area, and no, he's actually taking the RC, the multi, and the expo.
That's already a pretty decent value, but now he's getting right into the Tesla farm right there with the skeleton trap as well. So there's a lot of damage. In addition with that, with the enemy warden dealing a ton of damage to heroes as well. So this is a tricky situation for the heroes to be in. But wow, those headhunters are just like sneaking and go through all of the defenses and somehow finish off the enemy Royal Champion.
And it looks pretty good. I always love to see the hero dives alongside the lightning spells. The base just gets shredded before the lava loon even begins. And look at the king diving into the top area as well for the eagle artillery. Where has this base gone? The left-hand side is done for. He is going to lure the clan castle troops, though. Some of them from the top of the base. Doesn't quite get the eagle either, which is unfortunate. So what does he do here, Itsu, do you think? And he's got to fly into the town hall.
Yeah, at this point, as we said, they need to get like the safe 2-star, or like just the star, I guess. So that's what he's going first, and then the Lalo's going to start off into the eagle side. The eagle side is just so much better at this point because obviously you get the eagle out first. That's kind of obvious, but as well you can combine the warden ability with your remaining headhunters to make sure the enemy queen is going down. That's kind of the key at this point. He says to place the warden. He was waiting for the enemy defending headhunters to go down. Now there's the warden and the ability with those headhunters to take down the queen. And this now is looking really good as he's approaching the enemy scatters. Nice warden ability still covering for those loons. Now the freeze, maybe a second too late because now we have all of those loons going around the outside. Another freeze, but still no loons going for that scatter.
Yeah, he has a pack behind the Lava Hound closing in, but are they? Oh, they do! They move straight down to the scatter shot. That could not have been better for Rigatores as it goes down. There is the tornado trap as well, trying to bait the town hall a little bit. He did avoid that with the battle blimp. It turned out to be perfect to snipe the town hall like that, giving him the ability to fly into the eagle, like you said, Itsu. And it is going to be another 3-star by TOMPINAI Empire, meaning they have the perfect war here today, moving into tomorrow's matches. We said what a performance already, but we have to say it again. TOMPINAI Empire with the victory. That was insane.
Perfect war is always the best thing you are wishing for when going into the next round, obviously, like momentum wise. So that is huge. But we want to take a look at the replays, at the attacks, which we have missed in the beginning. So let's take a look at the first one, at the 1-star actually, which was a smash attack from Nishang Dance. And we have the one archer, which is luring out the Tesla farm. So really nice job already in the beginning, making sure that he's not placing his warden right into a Tesla farm. This is never a good thing. You should never try to do this. And we have the warden slowly taking that down. The entire Tesla farm is over there. There is no lightnings whatsoever. And he wants to take down the MuZhan tower. So this is a long, long road for this warden to take everything down. The wizard is helping and everything. And then right after that, he's going to try to start the smash into the town hall compartment. This is what it looks like. So far, the warden is doing a great job of taking all of the defenses down without having too much damage on it itself. Meanwhile, he still needs to be careful with black mines because most of the time you have the combination of the Tesla farm and the black mines. But since this took like so long, he just does not have the time to go for the MuZhan tower. So instead, there's the black mine, by the way, which we were waiting for. And this is exactly now with the time being the issue. So many Teslas, so many hit points basically he has to go through. So he has to start early. Everything is now engaging into that town hall as he has to place the super wizards and everything. And well, now the problem which we kind of see is going to happen, I feel like, because he's not doing anything anymore. And that is kind of fortunate because this entry looked so promising. This entry looks so promising. At this point, there are only the auto abilities, and it seems like there was a disconnect. That is unfortunate. It is. And the warden ability as well. Once again, the auto warden ability. Like this is so unfortunate seeing them have a disconnect, especially in a tournament like this. But the sad part about this is that there is no option of having to replay this attack. So the entry looked really solid. We have to give him that. But then obviously with not like keep putting everything on the match, or like not being able to place every single troop, he was not able to push this any further. So yeah, unfortunate ending to this attack, and this is how the 1-star happened in this matchup.
An unfortunate turn of events for sure. I guess one takeaway for Nishang Dance is the fact that they couldn't have won this with TOMPINAI Empire getting the perfect war. So let's take a look at the first attack from TOMPINAI Empire that we missed. And it was indeed a Queen Charge hybrid. So Michael DP starting off with the War Breakers, actually, just to give access into the base. Just fast forwarding through the first bit here to make sure that we get into the action. Queen Charge diving in towards the Eagle Artillery. Nicely setting up pathing with these sneaky War Breakers on the outside of the base in order to make sure the Queen is going where you want. Now, we always talk about the Queen Charge hybrid, making sure that you are actually getting pathing for the hybrid. That's actually the main thing. If you can take down the Eagle, though, before it is activated, that is a massive benefit. Queen charging towards the center of the base. He doesn't have any more super wall breakers, so she will just move in and out at this stage. It's a little bit unfortunate. Might have been able to get her easier into the scatter shot. Obviously, the scatter shot is one tile from where the Queen can reach right now, but with the hybrid being deployed alongside the siege barracks, I like the fact that he can use the King a little bit further up around the base to assure the hybrid dives towards the town hall, pushes right on up through to the scatter shot with the heal, and he has spells for days left over here with the freeze, the rage, uses them anyway because this was the opening attack and it was obviously unsure as to how the war was going to go, but it was TOMPINAI Empire that kept the momentum going after this first attack, managed to get the perfect war, and I guess it does mean that Nishang Dance would not have been able to catch up anyway, even if they hadn't have had that unfortunate disconnect. We've got to say congratulations to TOMPINAI Empire and get moving right along it to the next matchup of Indian Clashers versus Darkest MuZhan.
Yeah, that match is going to be really interesting because we have on one side the veterans, Darkest MuZhan, which already have been in the competitive scene for ages, I want to say. Like, for example, their team captain, Wei, being the world's MVP of 2019. So this is already telling you for how long they're being in the competitive community. And then on the other side, we have Indian Clashers, who are kind of newer, I would say, as well. They have a lot of experience already, but still they have not as much experience in those high pressure moments. That's what they have said as well, like answering a couple of questions. They said we still have to kind of like work on how we handle the pressure in those high pressure situations, because for example in the community league, and comparing this to like versing like, I don't know, Queen Walkers, for example, or any other team, it is something completely different, especially with so much money on the line.
Totally. And I mean, I take my hat off to Indian Clashers. They are slowly getting there, aren't they? Qualifying into, well, the qualifiers last year, not quite making it to the final. So like you said, they haven't got this top level experience, but it seems like they are slowly moving in the right direction, beating the Queen Walkers last weekend. Let's see if they can hold it together against the veterans of Darkest MuZhan. Starting out with an early dive in towards the town hall, nicely setting up the funnel either way. Whenever you attack from the corner of the base, it can be a little bit tricky to get your queen directly into the compartment, but 11 has managed to do it flawlessly at the start here, Itsu.
I'm not really the biggest fan of raging up the queen when she's facing the tunnel when there's no other damage on there, because it's most of the time not needed. I mean, the rage is still great and everything. I feel like the rage could have been a little bit more delayed or something. Either way, so far the queen charge looks great, but he just says, I don't care about the clan casters too much. I just start my hybrid really early, and now he has a lot of damage on his queen. He needs to use the queen ability just to make sure that those super minions are not killing his queen right through her all ability. And now we have the hybrid slowly making it. The warden ability most likely really soon to block those eagle shots. Perfect warden ability. This is looking really good, and the queen is going to the outside again, taking some more buildings down.
A perfect warden ability indeed, because he got the Eagle Fire, the Giant Bomb, the Bomb Tower, protected through some of the multi-target Inferno, managing to slowly get through the splash damage here. Things are slowing down a little bit, but with the RC ability still in tow, is this going to be what he needs? The Queen will fall to the single. He's got a lot of Hog Riders and Miners, though, to try and protect the Royal Champion here. Tornado Trap goes off, but it's not really going to do anything at this stage. 11 of Indian Clashers starting out exactly how they needed. getting the 3 stars against the superstars of Darkest MuZhan. Like you said, Itsu, they were a team that formed last year, but they formed of superstar players. And Indian Clashers start out exactly like they need to with the 3 stars.
Yeah, that attack was perfect example of how you can make your hybrid just stay alive for so much longer compared to others when using your spells and obviously the vulnerability perfectly. Everything was really nicely played, and this hybrid went smooth through the space. So really nicely done. And one thing is obviously Darkest MuZhan is being up next, and now we have to wait who is going in next for them, because they are kind of switching up their attack, or I feel like with the most, not really sure why or like what exactly the strategy is behind that, or if they're just that flexible with this. As we said, they're all veterans, so they could most likely attack at any position in the war. So that's obviously a really nice thing coming into the match, being that flexible. So let's see if they can just push that further and get some advantage due to that fact.
Yeah, it might just come down to the fact of who can plan a particular strategy for a base. I know some clans have a particular order. Some people like the more complex plans, but like you said, if you can switch it up and keep your opponent guessing, I feel that is a huge thing when it gets to this level, because everyone has the capability of 3-starring at this level. It's really just those little things, that flexibility, tripping up your opponent, the mind games. Those are the tiny little things which can often be the difference maker. And that's where, when you said Indian Clashers are slowly gaining that experience, that's what they are now starting to gain. The experience of being up against these top teams in the high-pressured situations. And they are looking good here at the start of this war. But, like you said, it's all about how Darkest MuZhan respond now.
Yeah, that's right. If they can get the 3-star as well, that would be a huge thing for them. So let's see. And we have Carl Y on there as well, and he is going in with the Inferno Dragons, a strategy which we have not seen too often today, I feel like, which is kind of surprising. And he's starting off with a couple of Yetis, trying to snipe certain buildings on the outside and create already a funnel.
Yes, we've talked about the success of this strategy. I think it's interesting that he is starting so far down to the south of the base with that Yeti as well, probably going to drive one of his heroes into that section. Like you said, the Electro Dragon is getting pretty good chain damage up the top as well. And now we see the Inferno Dragons diving into the base with that early Grand Warden ability. We do have a Battle Blimp selected. Is he going to send it through the base or from the left-hand side towards the Town Hall? Skeleton spells already being deployed, and he's doing a pretty good job protecting his Inferno Dragon so far. A wise move to send the Battle Blimp from the area that has already been tested. And if he can take this Town Hall down early, it could be pretty helpful for those Inferno Dragons, but they're struggling to get to that multi-target Inferno, Itsu.
Yeah, that multi-target Inferno Tower is really not the easiest to get through. In addition to that, the Queen, which was supposed to take down the Eagle, did not go there right away because the King did not get the entire 3 o'clock compartment. And now it's going to be tricky. There's still so much left, Judo. And I think I'm kind of speechless right now. This might be the lowest percent which we have seen so far with this strategy. Or maybe somehow this strategy is going to turn things around. But I feel like with every single hero ability already used and only one Inferno Dragon left, I don't think that this is going to 3-star. So this now is all about the percentage that he can get and somehow squeeze out of this attack.
Wow, well, we have talked about, well, mainly last weekend we talked about, is it best to go first as a team or second? For the most part, you said in your experience, going second is better so that you know what's happening. But there was that caveat that if you went first and you took the lead, you put the 3 stars on the board, it would start to put the pressure on your opponent. And Indian Clashers could not be in a better situation right now by getting that 3-star and then arguably a huge defense.
Yeah, and I feel like the one thing which happened last week with Indian Clashers beating Queen Walkers, I feel like this was one of the best things that this could happen to them in the start of this year, because all of them said if they're looking forward to one team and to play them, and one team they would like to compete against, it is Queen Walkers. And beating and going through this team so early in the tournament is huge with winning that matchup. So momentum-wise, they're like really high up there right now. And especially with starting into this match with the 3 stars and the good defense, I think for Indian Clashes, it's looking really good right now. And I'm excited to see what they're going in with next, because so far they like their Queen Charge Hybrid, but at the same time, sometimes they mix things up with some other strategies as well. So really looking forward to see what they're going in with next.
Certainly showing the diversity within the Indian community, and I have to agree across the 2 wars, because Indian Clashers are the only team that we have seen battle twice previously in this tournament, obviously beating Legion Davina in round 1, and then the Queen Walkers. They have attacked the most so far in this tournament, and we have seen a couple of different attack strategies. Like you said, I think mainly they are kind of using the Queen Charge Hybrid as their backbone, if you will, but they can certainly branch out into different strategies when they see a particular weakness of a base. And that's something that I feel is pretty important. Having something that you can default to if you are stuck on a particular base, but also having the flexibility.
Yeah, that's right. And now we see something completely different compared to the first attack, even though we're keeping the Queen Charge, but this time no hybrid, but instead the Lalo. And now we see a couple of sneaky goblins getting their goal, and as soon as that's done, the Queen Charge is going to start right into the 3 o'clock side. So let's see how he's going to deal with that single Inferno Tower, or maybe he's just going to wall break into that compartment right at the corner of the Dark Elixir Drill. But then he's going to be in between of a lot of damage, so he needs to be perfect with his spells to keep his queen alive.
Bit of a risky dive, but this is Serial's favorite attack strategy, the Queen Charge Lalo. We've seen him 3-star with it. He did mix it up in round 2 last weekend and only got the 89% in round 2, but it was the 3 stars in his first matchup. Starting with multiple spells, multiple troop deployment here, Itsu, and I always like to see when, the Super Wall Breaker didn't quite get to the center, but fortunately he has a 3rd. Maybe he knew it was going to be a risky wall break, and he does get there. The Queen now can get in towards the multi, and this looks pretty good if that is all he wanted the Queen to get.
This is just looking perfect so far. The Queen Charge is perfect. We said it's not that easy to charge the Queen in there. He's doing that with ease, using all of his heroes right in the beginning. He's trying to go for the enemy eagle as well, which so far is not working that great. But with the Queen taking now onto this enemy defending clan castle, he's just starting things off. But dude, this looks so risky. Is he actually starting off with a Lalo from the top side and the Town Hall being one of the last defenses? But I mean, he has the Blimps, so maybe he's feeling kind of safe with that and saying, I got this, no problem.
Yeah, I think the battle blimp is going all the way through. There it is. Can he get this? You do have to take risks. If you want to make it to the top, the Queen is on the Town Hall. She can damage that and get it pretty much over. Battle blimp gets there, but he's lost most of his balloons, unfortunately, to the left-hand side, with the scatter shot surviving. And I'm not sure he can get this now with a couple of wizard towers left over. A brilliant plan, I would say, with that Queen Charge, particularly because we know Serial prefers to attack towards the end of the war. He's managed to attack fairly high up the list here. Maybe that's where he just didn't have enough time to plan out the Lalo stage. So it's not going to be the 3-star for Indian Clashers, opening the door a little bit for Darkest MuZhan, but with this type of percentage, Indian Clashers would still be in the lead on percentage, even if they did concede the 3.
Yeah, and this attack, like, the Queen Charge nearly took down the entire base, and then the Lalo did not get that much, which was kind of surprising. Like, the Queen, you saw it taking down the entire right side, even in the end, was damaging the Town Hall. That Queen survived for the majority of this attack, and still the Lalo was not able to finish this. This is really unfortunate, but still, as you said, decent percentage to make sure that even with a 3-star, this match is super close. And now, I mean, we still have to get the 3-star from Darkest MuZhan, because we talked about it. The first attacks most of the time are like your safest options or your safest plans going first. Obviously, in the current meta of the clan wars, it is good to put up pressure early on the enemy team. So you want to have your best attacks anyway in the beginning. So having being able already to defend this first attack of Darkest MuZhan is obviously giving them a big advantage. But now Darkest MuZhan has to deliver. So I feel like the next 1 or 2 attacks are going to be really important to the outcome of this matchup.
It is going to be the P.E.K.K.A Smash variant that we have seen surge into the meta. Where has the Battle Blimp dropped here, Itsu, and what is he using? He has Snickies. Oh, and there is the bombs to get rid of them as well. Can he finish it off? He does. Rage and Freeze Spell committed to make sure he got the Town Hall, and that was super important that he did.
Wow, that was such a clean Blimp bait in the beginning from Indian Clashers. The biggest problem right now as well, obviously he had to invest a lot of spells to get there, but the even bigger problem I feel like is that he was not able to load the clan caster early. Like, he was only to load a couple of the archers, and you want, if you're investing so much, you obviously want to have the building sound, which he got, but you want to have the extra value in taking down the clan caster early. You want to have that as well, because now he has to face it in the base. The smash just started, the king on the outside with those witches should easily funnel. The smash is going inside, the wall break is doing a great job. And now the clan caster is coming out, and now he has to deal with that vulnerability. So far he's doing a great job of that, but is this still being enough? Because there are so many archers and headhunters coming out of the clan castle.
That will slow him down, but hopefully these Super Wizards can get through that pretty quickly. I did like the Warden ability nice and early to try and just preserve everything, make sure the Wall Breaker got him access through the base here. Beautiful Jump Spell will give him access to pretty much all of the compartments on the back end. Meanwhile, we have the King charging towards the Eagle Artillery, but nothing going down towards that scatter shot as of the moment, as it just swipes away at the Super Wizards. And down they go alongside the Queen, who is clinging on. Can she make it to the scatter shot? Oh, the healer's taking damage now as well, but they survive. Queen goes down, Scatter's still alive, and with the Royal Champion and the ability, can she get this, Itsu? There's a lot of defenses that she needs to get through.
Oh my god, there are really so many defenses still left. With that scatter, with the Tesla still up, this is going to be close. Royal Champion ability now is getting used, but their scatter is still staying up, and that's still nearly full hit points at this stage with the defending skeleton trap. I don't think that this is going to be enough. This means this is going to be the next defense for Indian Clashers. They're coming so prepared into this match. You just saw the Blimp bait in the beginning. Such an awesome bait right there with the double black mine, making sure the Blimp is not getting that far, and then the spring trap with those small bombs, making sure that the town has not been taken down with those raged up sneaky goblins. So far, I have to say, I'm really impressed by the defense of Indian Clashers, holding back a really strong Darkest MuZhan so far on 2 defenses. That's already pretty promising for the start of this clan war, I would say.
Definitely, and it does give them the advantage moving now to the middle point of the war. Interestingly, when we did ask Indian Clashers how they prepared for this event, they did say, obviously preparing for attack, but building and, more importantly, testing their bases, making sure they test them again and again, arguably for situations like that where they can sneakily bait their opponent, because that is such a huge aspect to base building. Any base can be taken down really, but it's all about just tripping your opponent and tripping them early on in the attack as well.
Yeah, that's right, and that's exactly what they did over here with. I mean, we all most likely have used at some time of our Clash Life a Blimp, so it's not easy to build against that. So really good job. But now we have Indian Clashers on attack, and they're going with the Super Witches, no lightnings whatsoever, 4 free spells, which leaves in the end 2 rages and 2 jumps. So he wants to get really far into the base without breaking any walls, and this is why he is bringing 6 sneaky goblins.
Saab is Indian Clash's top performer at the moment with a 95% 2-star in round 1 and the 3-star in round 2. So he wants to keep that momentum going and really put Indian Clashers in the lead here. If you're just tuning in, they are ahead by a star because they got an opening 3-star, but this could move them even further towards tomorrow's matches. Starting with that Grand Warden walk, as you mentioned, just carefully luring out any of the defenses in that area, taking those down so that he can then dive into the right hand side. It's interesting that he's used the jump spell this early, Itsu, because whilst it's not likely to run out, it is a factor that it can happen, and I guess he just wanted to make sure he wasn't focused on dropping that once he was then deploying the troops.
Oh, that Warden is really low on hit points, and he has to use the Warden ability. I mean, the Warden ability was perfect anyways, if we're completely honest. Like, he wanted to use it anyway for the Blimp to make sure that it's reaching the Town Hall, and facing the enemy Queen is nice as well. So, it could have been worse, but the worst thing just happened. The Warden just died. The healers deciding to not heal up the Warden, going for those Super Witches, and the Town Hall is going down as well. So, a lot of things happening at the same time right now, Judo.
Oh, and the Yeti Mites just missed the Expo. They were caught in the tornado trap, which was set there to bait the Battle Blimp as well. But just the fact of not getting that Expo is a huge deal because he can't get access to it. Even though it has a tiny little bit of health, it's just going to chip away at his troops. And like you said, with the Warden going down, it is such a big deal. Yes, the ability might be a huge part of an attack, but having the HP buff, particularly when you have troops that are high in hit points, can be very important. Now, Saab could certainly still do this. He has 1 minute, he has the Queen ability and a freeze spell, but he's got a huge Tesla farm on the back end of the base, which I feel is going to be the most troublesome, Itsu.
Yeah, the freeze was used onto the scatter, but the scatter was already dead at that point, so that's so unfortunate. The scatter going down and the freeze at the same time. Now the Queen somehow has survived. She needs to get out of the range of the Expo, which she is not able to do so. So we have the next defense in this match, which means Darkest MuZhan still have a chance to come back into this matchup with Indian Clashers not being able to get as many percentage as they would like to. And especially right now with this match being kind of close percentage-wise, they obviously would have liked to get more percentage, but this seems like it's going to end up on around 85%-ish, which obviously, yeah, is not the thing which they were wishing for.
Yeah, and I feel that is exactly why Indian Clash has made the decision there. I think there was probably a team decision on Voice to use the freeze spell early to try and maximize percentage on that side. Maybe they just felt like they weren't going to get through the Tesla farm down the bottom, so assure you take the defenses on that area so that you have all of the non-defensive buildings free to clean up, because when the war is this close, yes, they are 1 star in the lead with that opening 3-star, but the percentage is kind of touch and go. So you always want to try and give yourself as much buffering room as you can. And if you know the 3-star's not happening, then you have to shift your focus completely towards the percentage and assuring that.
Yeah, and if Darkest MuZhan with their team captain Wei would get the next 3-star, there would be actually, I think, yeah, 0.2% ahead of Indian Clashes. So this is showing how close this match is. But before that, yeah, the MVP of the World Championship 2019 has the 3-star first. And he's starting off with some nice lightnings in the core, obviously doing some damage already to the enemy World Champion without taking her down. But this is always nice, doing a Lalo attack and having already the enemy defending air targeting heroes damaged first, and now we have the hero part with every single of those 3 heroes getting into the top side, and then obviously the wall break into that enemy Queen compartment.
Yeah, finding the Tesla farm up in this area is a good thing, because with the Lava Loon, it can certainly do a lot of damage, but is it going to be the difference maker in him getting the defenses he wants? It doesn't look like it, because with an Ice Golem now just popping, the King charging into the base, he is tearing apart this area of the base, and it is a brilliant hero dive alongside the lightning spells. He now has clear pathing for his Lava Loon, and majority of his spells, well, given the lightning, majority of his spells left over because he used the Ice Golems for the heroes. Oh my word, the Queen is going to get the Eagle, and I hadn't even realized that. And the Tornado. Wow.
I don't think you could get any more value out of your heroes at this point. So Wei is just doing a crazy job of actually getting all of those enemy defenses down. And now we have the Slammer tanking nicely the scatter shot, but actually nothing is going on that scatter, so he needs to do something about that. He has not deployed the Warden just yet. He wanted to wait if there are any like headhunters in the defending flank cast, and now the Warden ability, and there are some more loons reinforcing to make sure the top scatter is going down. Now the next Hound is going to be deployed at the bottom side. The Lalo is making through it. Only the scatter is actually a big threat at this point for the backhand. He has one skeleton spell still left if he wants to place it at some point. The freeze, a haste, judo. This is looking really, really good.
This is incredible, given the fact that the Stone Slammer has not even popped yet. There is all the spell deployment in this compartment to make sure that it goes down. We're not taking any risks here. The Wizard Tower is still alive, but thankfully I think it was on the Warden for the most part, rather than the balloons. So they surge on through, taking down the final defenses, and with 40 seconds left on the clock, the minions should be able to clean up through these storages here, meaning that Darkest MuZhan are back in action, getting this war to the point where it is neck and neck moving into the next couple of attacks. Indian Clashers will still be in the lead by that little bit, but is he going to get this, Itsu? The gold storage in the middle is not very damaged, and he has the King's Altar with the Lava Hound being popped.
Top left, the loons skipped
drill,
that
yes.
Dark Elixir drill, and this is going to be... No way, the 99 Classic. Oh no, this is not what he was hoping for. It was such a too big of an overkill, like 1 or 2 loons saved, and this is exactly what like most of the players are doing. They're saving 1 or 2 loons just in case that those loon splits at the end of the attack are not perfect, and this is exactly what happened right here with this one building getting skipped by the loons in the end in the cleanup process. Percentage-wise, though, this match is all tied up. There's only 1 star, which is the difference maker right now, and with still having 4 attacks overall in this war to go, there are many things and many possible ways for both teams still winning this match.
Well, there's not many possible ways left because he has just gone in there with that 99%. I feel he had to use the balloons for the scatter shot. I think he was probably going to save 1 or 2 and then tried to recover it early on. Let's not focus on that. It is all tied up on percentage. Indian Clashers in the lead with that 1 star. And it is Payush with the Mass Witches. Where is he going to use the lightning? He only has 6 of them here with the earthquakes, so it is going to be one of the scatter, getting a bit of damage onto the RC, like you said, but also taking down the Grand Warden statue is a pretty big deal, actually, when he's then diving into this area of the base.
Yeah, it's always looking so interesting to see so many witches, and they're just spawning so many skeletons that it's just crazy. So the Wardwalk so far looks really good, like taking down the defenses and making like a nice cut, because with taking down those 3 buildings, like the 2 archer towers and the elixir storage, there's no way for those witches or the queen to walk to the bottom side. They have no other choice than getting into that single inferno tower, getting into that tunnel with most likely those 2 wall breaks, into the bomb tower, into the tunnel compartment, and then obviously getting into the core with those jumps. And with only having to face 1 multi-inferno tower, the biggest threat to the entire attack is going to be the eagle. So let's keep a closer look onto the eagle and what exactly he's going to target, because that could be a huge game changer in this attack. But so far it's looking great. Only the heroes are getting targeted, which is totally fine.
Yeah, it could definitely be a huge game changer due to the fact that you have to deploy all of your witches pretty much together in order to gain that DPS momentum, meaning that he activates the eagle very early on in the attack. Now the witches are doing okay, and he has split the witches a little bit to avoid any maximized damage from the eagle artillery, slowly getting to the town hall. But he's not really got amazing pathing here unless he can speed things up at the top to then drive the witches through towards the multi.
Yeah, he definitely needs to take down the scatter as well. Like, the scatter is huge. The scatter is one of the most dangerous defenses against those witches. And this right now is, like, nicely dealt with having the king and the P.E.K.K.A. and the royal champion on the outside, tanking that scatter shot, making sure the scatter shot cannot target any of those witches. The witches on the other side are going to deal with that single Inferno tower, which would be a bigger threat to the royal champion, which right now is slowly dealing with that enemy scatter. So this right now is not looking too bad if those witches can quickly deal with that back-end eagle.
Yeah, I think this looks pretty good because he still does have witches alive. If they can spawn the troops quick enough, now that that ice golem has gone down, the wizard towers are going to be a huge deal. But the royal champion is stepping up to help out. Witches survived through this area, so if they can spawn the skeletons quick enough to get through this wall, they might be able to help out. But with 15 seconds remaining, it's all about the time. He's got a wizard at the top with some huge buildings to take down, and Darkest MuZhan did just see the agonizing 99%. Payush is going to have that same feeling. Even though it's not a 99 in itself, it is a time fail because the base was done for. Payush searching for his first 3-star of the tournament, ever so close. But it does mean Indian Clashers still have that 1-star advantage. Darkest MuZhan, with the extra attack, could easily take the lead.
Yeah, it is so close, this match. Like, it could, like, lean to either side at this point. Like, 1 3-star and Darkest MuZhan would be in the lead as well percentage-wise, because they would get, like, a huge percentage boost with getting the 3-star as well. So, I mean, let's just see and kind of, like, take a look at what they're coming up with next. And we have Tai, one of the strongest attackers in this tournament so far, and he's coming in with a kind of creative approach. He's going in with the mass Inferno Dragons, even though he's not bringing as many as usual. Instead, he's bringing a golem, an ice golem. So I'm looking for that. Like, let's see what he has in store for us.
Yeah, it looks like he's diving his heroes a little bit further into the base. We mentioned the Eagle Artillery and how important it is for the Inferno Dragon attack. He's going to take that down early on and also diving towards a scatter shot as well. But the Queen has walked a little bit here. He wanted her around towards the scatter. The Golem is pretty much tanking nothing right now. Not the opening Tai needed here, Itsu.
Oh yeah, that was really unfortunate. You want to take down at least one of the 2 scatter shots, making sure there's not as much splash damage for his Inferno Dragons. And now out of this investment for basically nothing, like the entire golem was not really worth it. This could have been like a ton of more Inferno Dragons. So this is going to be interesting now, how he can deal with this double scatter shot, because the Inferno Dragons are just ignoring the scatter shot for now, which is never a good thing. Just take a look at how much damage this one scatter can deal to the group of Inferno Dragons. Now the Blimp is slowly making it into the Town Hall direction, because the Town Hall still needs to go down as well. With all of those Tesla inside the base, this is so much damage, and still with the super minions as well. But the Blimp is sneaking through, should take down the Town Hall, but still, like, just for the Inferno Dragons, there's a lot still standing.
Yeah, at least he did get the Town Hall. The Inferno Dragon's going down fast. He has a lot of spells, Itsu, that he hasn't used yet. Interestingly, he uses the Ice Golem with the Royal Champion. Is he counting on the Royal Champion finishing off this base with free freeze spells and an invisibility? Also the Skeleton Trap. This is interesting. I'm intrigued as to why he saved the spells so much, to be honest with you.
The Royal Champion first off is just skipping the enemy Royal Champion. Now we have an invisible... No! She's just like keep skipping that Royal Champ. And now we have the Ground Expo over there as well. Like a lot of damage on that Royal Champ. He's missing the cannon, which means the Royal Champ is going to go down. And now we have slowly made it to the back end. The Royal Champion, the defending Royal Champion, still alive with 1 Inferno Dragon and 1 Electro Dragon. I'm sorry, only one Inferno Dragon still left. And I don't think the Inferno Dragon is going to win the 1v1. No.
I think he did a pretty good job at rescuing the percentage there, because mid-attack, the Inferno Dragons had clumped up. The scatter shot was doing a lot of damage, and he was losing the Inferno Dragons fast. If you had have told me at that point of the attack that he was going to get nigh on 90%, I probably would not have agreed with you. So he's done a pretty good job to keep Darkest MuZhan in the percentage race here. It does mean that Indian Clashers kind of slowly take the lead on percentage. They do have that star advantage as well. But it does mean that Darkest MuZhan are still in this fight. Because if Indian Clashers do not 3-star, then Darkest MuZhan could take it in the final battle. So whilst they are behind and Indian Clashers could secure it here, it was really important that Tide did keep the percentage high in that last attack.
Yeah, that's for sure true. Now it's up to Indian Clashers. I feel like a really high percentage 2-star or even a 3-star would make sure that they're going to win this. And now we have the next attack with Super Witches once again. As we already said, those pros love their Super Witches. It's such a strong army composition, and it's working on basically any base.
Yes, we do see the versatility of this attack. Krish Vishnoi, with a lot of experience in himself, pulling out the 3 stars as the final attacker versus Queen Walkers last week. So if he can do the same today, he will move Indian Clashers to tomorrow's matches. With that Grand Warden Walk just slowly taking out some of the buildings on the bottom. Doesn't really look like he's going to dive into the base for anything specific, because we tend to see around about a 1-minute Grand Warden Walk, and I don't think he will be able to get much more here before he should start the actual attack. Yes, here he comes with the Super Witches.
Yeah, he wanted to take down the air defense, first off, to make sure the pathing for the Super Witches is great. They cannot be distracted or anything. And second of all, he wanted to make sure that his healers are safe and they're not getting targeted by this enemy air defense. The wall break so far looks great. The king in the second compartment is a nice idea, because this is giving him the access to the enemy eagle without having his Super Witches getting wall break in there. The down spread to the town hall looked great as well. And now it's all about how good can those Super Witches deal with their town hall at the top side. We have the enemy king taken down with those 2 headhunters. Really great idea of bringing those 2 headhunters, taking the king down, and this means the Royal Champion has a way easier job. But now those Super Witches are splitting a little bit. The town hall should be taken down. Town hall is going down, and this is looking really, really solid for the back end of this base, with so many Super Witches still alive.
Looks very good in my opinion. The Coco Loons were fantastic. Right as I say that, he does lose a healer. However, the healers have survived throughout the inside of the base, and that is all that matters. He took out a lot of black bombs early on. It is huge to protect your healers, to make sure that your Super Witches can survive. And with the Royal Champion moving through the final Tesla, Super Witches continuing to tank the Expo, Indian Clashers are one step further to winning this match and progressing. What does he have for cleanup towards the top of the base? He does have a king, a wizard, queen's ability. I think it is the 3-star and the victory here at 2 for Indian Clashers.
They were so good over this tournament, over on the defensive side, and now in the last attack in this match, they're going to clutch things out. Such a great attack, really great idea with putting that king alone into that eagle compartment. And this means Indian Clashers are going to move forward to the next round, and we're going to see them again tomorrow to play in there as well. And their opponent will be obviously we're going to see that in the next match, but still, Darkest MuZhan has 1 attack still to go. And let's see, let's hope they're going to finish off this tournament and this match with the 3-star. That would be pretty cool.
I'm sure they certainly will, because they have put up one fantastic performance today. Indian Clashers will be facing off against either Vatang or Method to Madness. We will be checking... my apologies. We'll be finding out who they are playing in the next matchup. But Indian Clashers taking the victory there, and we will find out exactly what Darkest MuZhan can put on the board for this next attack. Let's take predictions, Stu. We've done this for the final attack the last couple of times. What do you feel that Darkest MuZhan are going to be attacking with?
I say Queen Charge Hybrid.
Yeah, they do like Queen Charge Hybrid, don't they? I'm going to say the Inferno Dragons. Let's mix it up a little bit. I don't think we've seen that too much from Darkest MuZhan. So here we go. After this one, we will be checking out the replays and then into the final matchup of H.T Family versus Vatang.
I mean,
Kartek with the Dragons. I was kind of close.
Yeah, I just wanted to say you were kind of right with that, bringing the lightnings in there as well with those dragons. Something which we have not seen too often, especially, or at least not successful in this tournament. I feel like the only dragon attacks which we have seen so far being successful in this tournament with like dragons was bats with the dragons. No lightning dragon attack so far was successful, I believe. So let's see if Darkest MuZhan could be the first team to get the 3-star with this strategy. He has 2 lightnings left, which he's going to use for the sweeper. And well, entry-wise, I think this looks pretty solid. He's trying to do like a cut now to make sure his dragons, if he's going to release them into the town hall, they're going to have a really nice pathing into the back end, especially with his heroes now then on the outside, making sure everything is like getting pressured into the core.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing I noticed there was all 4 expos are on ground, so it makes sense to just push the dragons through this central area and keep the heroes on the outside to correct pathing for them and try and keep away from the expos a little bit. You can see the range of the grounded expo obviously on the queen. Dragons do enter the base to the town hall. A nice warden ability will protect them through the Giga Bomb because they do take surprisingly quite a bit of damage. Then they will move on forward, but can they get to this single quick enough as the traps start to go off Itsu and the clan castle troops engage? How devastating will this be? They're taking a lot of damage moving through the center of the base now.
Especially with no warden ability left anymore, this is a lot of damage on those dragons. The eagle is shooting non-stop. Always remember, this eagle is going down kind of as the last defense. Now the entire Tesla farm at the core as well. This is dealing so much damage to the dragons. And at this point, there's only 1 or maybe 2 dragons alive. This was such a heavy stack core, and I feel like this base was just designed to defend those dragons, even though they were kind of like running the bait, I would argue, with this ground expos. And you can see there's a back-end air defense anyway, so this base, yeah, there was no chance for the dragons to get through. So really good base from Indian Clashers once again. There, I feel like we can see on the last 8 teams now that the bases have improved as well so much. We saw it already now over all of the matches today. Those bases from those pro teams, they are really, really impressive and are defending crazy, crazy good.
They certainly are, and like you said, I would definitely think that was baited from Indian Clashers to try and force your opponent to use A. 4 expos do not make the whole base, and that shows how good they were at defending. Indian Clashers taking the victory, moving on to tomorrow's matches. What a dominant performance, really, Itsu, versus the superstar team. Whilst it was touch and go throughout majority of the war, towards the last couple of attacks, Indian Clashers really stepping things up and pulling out the victory when they needed it most. Sometimes the end of the war is when things get the most tricky as well.
Yeah, in the end, not a single 3-star against their defenses. As you said, against a veteran team like Darkest MuZhan, that is already a huge achievement in itself already. And I feel like we saw it over the tournament, how they were feeling safer and safer in their position as Indian Clashers, with like beating Queen Walkers, then moving forward, and they were really able to rely on their defense to make sure that their offense is working out. So really good job. And as you said, now we're taking a look at the next matchup right after you have taken down, like you have broken down the replay.
Yes, so we just seen the 3-star by Krishvish Noy, but I wanted to break down the first 3-star from Indian Clashers in case anyone is just tuning in and missed the start of the war. It was 11 that started things off for Indian Clashers, and he had a very impressive Queen charge into Hybrid. Now, starting off To the right-hand side of the base, you notice the queen diving into the town hall. And I think it's a wise move to use the queen early so that she can start to take out buildings alongside the funnel. You don't always have to create the funnel first before you drop the troops that you are funneling for. You can have a nice synchronization of all of those troops as long as you get the timing right. And 11 did that perfectly here to make sure that his queen dove in towards the town hall. Can be tricky to funnel from these corners of bases, but he did it beautifully. Slowly sending in the balloons as well to just try and trigger any black bombs. And whilst he does start to take damage from the expos, he continues to rage the queen, and once he's dropped the rage spell, he knows the queen is fine. He shifts his focus towards the hybrid to make sure that that is pushing through the base. So he's got the king and siege barracks creating a funnel on the opposite side. The queen has already done so up to the top of the base, and that creates a nice channel for the hybrid to move in, which we always talk about is exactly what you need to do with the hybrid. It's very similar to the dragons in essence, that the miners will attack any building. So you need the funnel set up on either side. Hog Riders will attack just the defenses, so for the most part they are going to move through the base where you want them to. Heal spells and the freeze spells used on the splash damage defenses to protect the hybrid, obviously being grouped together, that is where they are going to take the most damage, but also quickly using the freeze to protect the queen as well. So this attack was very carefully planned, and it shows that being able to adapt as the attack is going on, use your spells in quick succession to protect the different phases of your attack is what helped 11 get through here, and is what is super important. Keeping the queen pretty much alive through the entire base means he had the right-hand side dealt with for the hybrid to swoop in for the 3 stars. But we are now moving to that final matchup to see who Indian Clashers will be facing, and it is Vatang versus H.T Family.
That's right, and I feel like H.T Family could be one of the fan favorites, because the interesting thing about this is that we had a poll on the Clash of Clans YouTube channel, and the majority of you, actually over 70%, were looking forward the most to see some Electro Dragon attack today. And I think so far we have not seen a single Electro Dragon attack just yet. But the cool thing about this is that 4 out of the 5 players out of H.T Family just said that their favorite attack strategy is Electro Dragons. So maybe we're going to see one of those strategies today in use just for you guys, hopefully. That would be cool, but right now we can see the team rosters, and as I said, those 2 teams so far were doing great work, and especially H.T Family on defense. We already mentioned defense quite a bit, but especially last week, H.T Family being able to defend on 9 stars. This is so far the lowest score which one of the teams had against one of the last 8 teams. So H.T Family on defense, really, really strong. On the other side with Vatang, though, the team which was really strong on offense. So this is once again a matchup, offense versus defense. And we're going to see which of those 2 are more important.
It is going to be interesting because, as you rightly said, H.T Family holding off Aphelion Esports to just 9 stars. But the day prior, Aphelion had a 15-star war. Perfect. So they have the attacking ability, and H.T Family were able to hold them off. So that really does just show how good their bases were. But like you said, Vatang beat Method to Madness, which was such an exciting matchup. How I was focused on that matchup because it was so creative. But they beat them with 14 stars. So a little bit of a stronger offense. And it is going to be a tough matchup. I have always, from the first time I seen H.T Family, been impressed with their Electro Dragon attacks, because they can take down bases super quick, but they can also make sure that the spells are perfectly placed. And I think that's something that people sometimes overlook with the Electro Dragons, is the spell placement.
Yeah, that's right. And at least we're going with the air attacks, which is the dragons, not Electro Dragons. I'm sorry, maybe later, but still, it is going to be air, and they have at least 1 Electro Dragon in this army composition. But still, this is going to be the drag bed. Out of all of the dragon attacks which we have seen so far, this is the most successful combination. And, well, the Big Dragon did not have that much fun because the Black Mine over there. And now it's all about the Dragons are now getting played into the top left side. The town being kind of far back, but I feel like, once again, the Blimp is supposed to reach that and going to take down the Town Hall.
Yeah, and you can see that one sweeper right down to the bottom. He is going to have to be careful with that as he sends the Blimp through, but I don't think it's going to cause too big of an issue because the Dragons have pretty nice pathing here, Itsu, with the King and Queen able to take out the defenses just into that compartment. The Dragons are moving through very swiftly here, taking down the Town Hall, and this base is going down pretty quick, you have to say. With the Ice Golem to protect the Wizard Tower at the top, we can now see the bats moving into the base. There's not a lot of splash damage left, just the Scatter Shot and the Wizard Tower, which you could freeze together, but the Dragons are in that area to tank pretty much anyways.
Yeah, this is looking so good, even though you have to say the Tesla farm itself is dealing a lot of damage to those bats because they're so on a like a quick fire rate. So let's see with the Dragons overpowering the Scatter anyway. We have one last freeze the Scatter and the Queen together. That's exactly what he's doing. And, well, H.T Family are keep doing what they have started last week. Keep smashing bases with those air synergies. And it's just so impressive. As I said, Dragons so far in this tournament had not the best success rate. But if something was successful, then it was the drag bat strategy. And that's exactly what we see right here. So, really great approach. Those bats are flying into the backhand, even though... Okay, the red mine. But either way, that's too late. The Dragons are going to finish off the base anyway.
Fantastic start for HT Family. You could say that the Dragons are a pretty good alternative to the E-Drags, particularly if you find a base where you can't chain as well. I think a lot of the buildings were chainable there, but just deciding that towards the back end of the base, you could swoop the bats around. And I think if we were to compare that attack to the one we seen at the end of the last war, the Dragon attack, where it was the pure Dragon style, you can see why the bats are a good choice because it just eliminates a lot of the damage from the Dragons, and they are super quick. If you can take out an area where there's limited splash, they just wipe it out very fast.
Yeah, that's right. And time is always an issue, but let's concentrate on the Vatang side because, as we said, they were impressive last week. They had, in my opinion, I think we both mentioned already, the most impressive war on the day number 2 against Method to Madness. And this was an impressive match to watch from both sides. So I guess we're going to look at a lot of Lalo attacks, so air as well, but no Dragons most likely. And then there may be 1 or 2 Queen charges, which they like to throw in over there as well. Let's see if we're going to being able to witness some lock launcher attacks once again, because I feel like this is liked by a lot of those pros in Vatang. So that would be my prediction, going being super happy to see about some of those Lalo attacks, especially with the lock launcher.
Well, we did see some overpowering Lalo attacks by Vatang last week as well. And like you said, very creative log launcher attacks, but it's not going to be for this one. The hybrid will be starting us off, has an invisibility spell, probably for the Royal Champion, unless he's maybe going to use that for hybrid pathing. But looking at the base, I wouldn't have thought so. Let's just find out, I guess, Itsu, with the Queen charge beginning from the 4 o'clock area of the base.
Yeah, now he's slowly trying to make it into that town direction. The first black one already found, so this is telling him, okay, let's just right away place that next wall break, place that next Cocoon, and he's once again fighting the next black mine. So we can already see this entry is definitely seen by the base builder, so we need to be careful with that. The super minions are dealing a ton of damage, but a nice freeze to prevent the Queen of going down with the enemy Warden together. The enemy Royal Champion taken down as well. Another 2 black mines. Oh my, this is looking so good for Vatang because they're so good with their Cocoons. There's another one. Can he? No. Is this going to be another? Okay, so no more black mines just yet. You already triggered 4 black mines. I think this is already a pretty good start into the Queen charge.
Yeah, I think that was pretty flawless on the Coco Loons, to be honest with you. Even manages to protect one of them to take down that Archer Tower as well. So this is a fight. There we go again. So many black bombs going off in this area, and despite it being set up to try and take down a Queen charge, He has charged this area anyway and protected all of those healers as the Queen continues through. She can get the enemy Queen, the Expo, before moving to the Eagle. Healers took a lot of damage there, and down they go. But the Queen has got the damage. I think as long as she gets the Eagle, he can be relatively happy in what she has got, and the Hybrid can then move on through the top. But sad not to keep that Queen alive a little bit longer.
You hate to see it with the Eagle targeting those healers. That's such an unfortunate thing, but either way, we have the Hybrid now pushing into the back end. The Tesla farm is nicely dealt with this Warden ability. The Scatter is having no chance against the Warden ability either, so a great use of that. Now the Invisibility spell, you told us he might want to use this for redirecting the Hybrid, so perfect use right there, making sure everything is going into the MuZhan Inferno Tower right away. Perfect use to make the pathing better, as you just said, and this is looking really good. Even though the Queen died out, the only thing which he might have to worry about is the time. The time is ticking non-stop. The Roger ability to finish off the back end. The power should be enough as long as the time is enough, and this is looking really, really good for the first attack of Vatang. And this is starting off at our first match of the day with having 3 stars on both sides. Judo, that was just that Queen charge with all of those Cocoons, that was crazy impressive.
That was one of the best Queen Charge hybrid attacks I have seen for a long time. The Queen Charge, so impressive, so precise. Then the invisibility spell was perfect to redirect them to the multi and scatter. But not only that, it kept the hybrid on the inside of the base as they moved to the back end. Oh my word, that was just incredible. Exactly what we expected from this matchup. I think both H.T Family and Vatang are known for their creativity, and I'm sure the attacks will continue to get better and better if these are the attacks we have seen with the shortest amount of planning time.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's always the best plans in the beginning. But I have to say, now for the next attack from H.T Family, I want to see those Electro Dragons. It is something in watching that attack with like those chains taking down the entire base, and feel like one rage Electro Dragon taking down the entire core, things like that. It's just so enjoyable to watch. And let's see if it's going to be okay. Lalo, that's totally fine for me as well. I enjoy watching the Lalo of those pros. And we have K coming in for H.T Family, and he's starting things off with his King and an Ice Golem. Supposed to going inside the Eagle compartment, but I feel like this King is going to walk onto the outside, not making it into that compartment.
Yeah, the Queen will get in there herself, but then she will be vulnerable. RC trying to take down this bottom section. As long as she can get the scatter, that will be good, but the Expos are on her. I'm not sure she's going to get it. She does not. It survives with a tiny little bit of health, so he is going to have to do something sending in the balloon, and that's quite wise to try and send it in early, but with the scatter and using the Queen ability, it redirected the scatter onto the loon.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Not taking down the scatter. The King walking around the outside. The King was supposed to tank. The King was supposed to tank for the defense, and now this one loon.
No look.
This is so unfortunate. Now he needs to send in the Blimp, but the Blimp, isn't the Blimp supposed to take down the town? Maybe the core with the MuZhan Inferno Tower, but still, there is so much to go through. This town needs to go down as well. The scatter finally drops. And now it's all about the loons making it to this tower compartment, because otherwise, the next tower would be pretty appreciated, I think, at this point. So the nice freeze, making sure everything is getting into that town hall. And now we need that haze. We need that Warden catching things up. Warden, come on, please.
Oh no! The Warden got stuck with these skellies and the dragon, and the town hall has not gone down. He needed to adapt so much here, trying to use the Lava Hound to tank the scatter, then the Blimp, but he put up such a risk to get to the town hall. The balloon, would you believe, does not have the haste either. He's going to have to use the rage to try and get everything to it. Uses the Grand Warden's ability for the dragon. Can he get it into? He has rescued the 2-star. Wow, that is exactly what H.T Family needed. He must have been shaking so much, and this attack is pretty close to the 3.
Wow, that Warden just being too interested in those ground skeletons, but then in the end, getting the comeback with that rage, with that dragon in that Warden ability. Oh, wow. I'm so happy that this was not a one-star. This would be so unfortunate. In the beginning of this clan war of the match, that would be really unfortunate. We have seen already what this is doing to a team. And I feel like at this at this stage, I'm 100% guaranteed that everyone, like in the voice of H.T Family, is going to be awake, because they were like, I think they were like over 9,000 during that attack, like screaming, yelling, and everything. Like there were a lot of things going on, I think.
Oh, most definitely trying to just adapt as you went along. But that is where we talked earlier about the experience at the highest level. That is where you can't gain that type of experience unless you do get to these final stages of competitions and something like that happens, where you do have to really hold it together, holding on to that rage spell so that he could just power everything to the town hall was definitely the best call he made. Arguably, the Grand Warden kind of put him in that position and rescued the 2-star, but I would have loved to have seen what could have happened if he had have kept the balloons alive. Nevertheless, they do get the 2 stars. It was a relatively high percentage, but Vatang could now take the lead.
Yeah, that's right. And we have seen already the attacks of Vatang. They're so strong. And now we have Lance Loader coming in with those Inferno Dragons. And he is, let's see, going in with the Yeti first, trying to funnel a little bit over there. And then I'm not really sure yet what the plan is going to be. If the plan is going to be to send in the Blimp for the town hall early, going to wait. Depending on the sweeper, I would say that it's going to be delayed, because so far it looks like the one sweeper is covering the town hall, so I don't think the Blimp would reach it alone. And now we have the Inferno Dragons starting off from the top left side. And then as soon as the clan caster, as the building is going down, he's going to start off with his heroes at the top right side as well.
Well, the Battle Blimp is slowly moving along towards that town hall, uses these skellies nice and quickly on the inside of the base to distract the Expos and the Eagle Artillery. Also has the Tesla in that area. Town hall goes down, should hopefully get a couple of extra buildings here with the Yetis, and the Tornado Trap is over in that area, so he knows he's not going to have the Inferno Dragons all rotated into one spot, although they are starting to go to the outside of the base. He doesn't have a lot of force moving down over, but I think that's actually what he wants, for the Inferno Dragons to loop up over and then back down with his heroes, Itsu.
Yeah, this is looking really good so far for him. He's now sending in the Royal Gem from the left side to make sure that he's able to place cleanup early. Not sure if that's the best choice, because the Royal Gem has to face a lot of cannons, which are not the most important things to take down, considering that he's using Inferno Dragons. But still, it should be alright. Time-wise, he's looking pretty good. Royal Gem ability could be used really soon, which he's doing right now to take down at least a couple of more buildings. Now it's all about the back. And the Inferno Dragons, as I said, are now struggling with the defense. That's where I would have liked to see the Royal Gem to come in. Like, why would you take down the ground defense, like cannons, mortars, things like that, when you could take down a couple of air defenses? And that's exactly what is the case right now, with this Queen trying to do her best, but I don't think that is going to be enough.
It's not, especially with that scatter shot. Wow, it could have been so different there, but it is going to be Vatang with the slight advantage on percentage. I find it interesting that both of these teams have started up with the exact players in the exact order that they did in the previous round. Lance Lauter was actually the only player not to 3-star for Vatang. So from this moment on, each of their players 3-starred in the last round. And for H.T Family, each of their players got 3 stars, apart from the final hit, which was a 96%. So it's really going to be interesting here as to how the rest of the attacks, if they follow the same order, continue to heat up if they were to follow that same pattern.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is good for Vatang right now, having their attacker, which did not triple the last time, already off the board. I'm not really sure. Either way, this match so far is really close. Starting off once again really strong, as we said, with the best plans in the beginning, and then like slowly like calming down a little bit. And then at the end again, we have some nicely saved ideas. Let's put it like that. So really looking forward. I think this middle part of a clan war is always the most important thing, because that's where most of the plans are that are not as promising maybe. So let's see if H.T Family can make the next plan work, can make the next attack work in itself. And let's see what they're going to go with. I'm still hoping for the Electro Dragons, though. I'm still hoping for those Electro Dragons to see them and see what type of magic H.T Family can do with them.
Totally. It is anybody's matchup, basically, at this point. I think it is going to be just whatever comes down to the day. We know that each and every one of the players here have the talent to 3-star, but how creative can they get? Maybe H.T Family do need to go back to their Electro Dragon attack. As you've mentioned, they are specialists with it, so perhaps they will find bases, but it's going to be the regular dragons for this one. So a similar attack, but using the lightning spells to take down an air defense and the Eagle Artillery alongside that Expo Itsu.
Yeah, I'm always like happy at one side seeing dragons and especially like the lightning combination, but at the same time knowing that so far this strategy has a hit rate of 0%. I'm not really sure. Let's hope that ICU from H.T Family somehow can like just keep going with their crazy performance with this air type of strategies. So dragons are slowly getting placed in as well in combination with those loons, already triggering the first black mines, which is great. The next black mine is getting triggered as well. Having those out of the way early is always a huge thing, and now slowly making it into the base, into the scattered compartment with the defending clan castle now showing up as well.
Yeah, he nicely throws the enemy queen alongside the defenses there just to help the dragons, but he is having the dragons pulled off quite a bit down to the bottom here with the defending clan castle troops. Maybe that was the plan, and to allow the battle blimp through alongside the heroes. But I do feel this is a very similar base to what we seen the dragons attack with last week, and it was unsuccessful. Just get the battle blimp through to the town hall. That is going to go down, and he's still got a lot of dragons left up, Itsu, alongside the royal champion yet to be deployed, and 2 giants presumably to tank for the royal champion to move in.
Yeah, trying his best to somehow push through the back, and I mean, it's still looking not too bad, to be honest, with that royal champion now getting placed as well. The back and the Inferno Tower is set to multi, which is great for that royal champion, especially having the queen as well. Now the next giant to tank for the royal champion. This is a lot of hit points, making sure that he's nicely tanking for the royal champion with the royal champion ability still left. Judo, I think he has done it. He has gotten the 3-star with the dragons, and I have to say, didn't look that great in the beginning with the dragons splitting up and everything, but this was a really, really nice attack. So, I mean, let's see. This should be the next 3-star, and it's a kind of quick one as well.
Yes, I see. You should probably use the Royal Champion's ability to try and just speed things up here. Does get the 3 stars to switch things back around for H.T Family and make sure that they keep their momentum going. I don't think they are going to worry too much about Vatang. They are just going to concentrate on their game. And what I like about that attack was the finer details towards the end. Sometimes you can plan your attacks, but then kind of forget about the end of the base, or not necessarily forget, just not really know what's going to happen when you get there. But it seemed like he had a plan for each and every aspect of the base there, and perhaps those giants could have been a good introduction to the strategy or the attack that we've seen previously with the dragons, where the royal champion did unfortunately go down to the cannons, like you said.
Yeah, those giants are always a great addition to the royal champion, because it's like the royal champ on the back end is just so incredibly strong, taking down the back end defenses, especially most of the time, which we have seen now a couple of times, is the back end air defense. It's nearly always a back end air defense in those bases, and having like the dragons to face that, like getting through all of the back end with like storages, maybe even the back end eagle, things like that, is not the easiest thing to have. So having the royal champ on the back end is key for those attacks, I feel like, and H.T Family did a great job of making this somehow work. And now we have the next attack, Young Han actually coming in with some super witches, which is kind of uncommon, seeing him like most of the time doing Lalo attacks.
Yes, we did see how good he was with the Lalo attacks last week. I do just want to quickly say, though, if you are watching and you did just listen to that conversation, that is your key takeaway from this stream. Consider using 1 or 2 giants before you send in your royal champion. Do consider that before your next war attack. Anyways, we have the lightning spell in towards the scatter shot, taking that down. Just making sure that when the Grand Warden takes down the defenses on the perimeter here, he's also got a huge funnel set up. And I always like having that little combination of the Grand Warden walk and the lightning spells, because it very effectively and very quickly takes apart a huge chunk of the base. And we all know how important time is with the Super Witches. A rather early deployment here, only 40 seconds in, Nitsu.
Yeah, but the pathing, as you said, is set up. The Queen now is doing her work as well to push all of the Super Witches inside in combination with that King. They should be able to go for the enemy Town Hall soon, I would say, but maybe they're just getting dragged around the outside of this base with the elephant still being up. Hopefully they're now getting back or getting hopefully inside the base. But so far it seems like that's going to be the case. The first loons are hitting those black mines, that's perfectly. Now the warden ability, once again, to keep all of those loon, or to keep the loon flying into the base, seeking for some more black mines, because those can be so devastating to the strategy. The problem for him, though, is that those Super Witches and the Queen are not going inside, but instead are walking around the outside.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, particularly because the air sweeper is pushing the healers back as well, so he's not really got too much health on the witches that did make it into the center. They are slowly making it through, but he just doesn't have the tankage that he wanted. I think the fact that he only brought one jump spell, he basically wanted his pack of Super Witches into the middle to tank all of the defenses so the Royal Champion could move through. But as you see, she is taking fire from all of the Expos, and she will go down super quick here, meaning it just has not happened in this attack. And it's going to be a relatively low percentage as well here for Vatang, unfortunately.
Yeah, the Queen still with her ability though, but I mean, even with that, with the ground Expo on the back end, the Eagle now targeting those healers, I don't think, as I said, it's going to be a ton of percentage. And that's never a good thing. Now the healers are going down, the red mine are going to finish them off. Maybe one or two more beatings, but this is, for this match, not the highest, with like around like 85% or something. So that was an unfortunate ending, and this means H.T Family bases once again are holding strong.
We have seen how good their bases are. As we mentioned, they held off Aphelion in the previous round, who had got a perfect war, held off every single one of their attacks. We mentioned at the start of this war how it was kind of offense versus defense. The defense side obviously being slanted towards H.T Family because Vatang was so strong in their attacks in the previous round. But so far, the bases of H.T Family have been working out. So it is more the defensive side of things which is making the big difference here in this war. But you've got to say, H.T Family at this point, 2 3-stars out of 3 attacks. They are keeping the attacking pressure on Vatang as well.
Yeah, that's right. And they have the percentage lead as well. So that's something to note in as well. So H.T Family for sure having the momentum right now. And I feel like if they would put up the next 3-star in their next attack, this would be a lot of pressure on the enemy team on Vatang, because this means even if they would like get the 3-star then as well, like getting that 3-star with already knowing that there's still one triple behind is obviously not the best feeling. And now we have Jin Mu coming in, and this one is going to be another P.E.K.K.A smash with a ton of Super Wizards, 5 overall, and we have 4 P.E.K.K.A as well. So no witches, but 1 Valkyrie as well, just in case if there are some stacked ground skeleton traps, just to take them out.
Jinmu did get the 3-stars in his previous match for H.T Family, and like you said, if he gets it here, Vatang would have to go perfect in order to win this war. So it is arguably one of the most important attacks of the war right here. Using the Grand Warden to take out the multi-target Inferno, does have that balloon sneaking in to test for any traps as well, but also help with the damage. Just about deploys the Queen quick enough before the Grand Warden went astray. He's managed to pull the Grand Warden back around, and with the P.E.K.K.A being deployed ahead of that 1-minute mark we always talk about in terms of getting your troops in, it looks pretty good here with the funnel already set up to the top with the King, who will also dive in towards the Town Hall, but with the Tesla and Skellies, I'm not sure he's going to get it, so the Battle Blimp is going to have to finish it off.
Yeah, but now all of those P.E.K.K.A walking around the outside, getting lured onto the outside is not the best thing. And the Warden just followed those P.E.K.K.A because they have so many hit points and everything that he's just like following them. And the troops inside the base do not have the best time over there. The healers are trying their best to keep the one P.E.K.K.A, to keep the Queen alive. And now all of this entry turned into a huge Queen charge. And the Queen can now take down the entire base, which is actually looking pretty good, considering that the Queen can take down the next Expo easily, and then he's going to use the poison onto that enemy queen just to make sure that his own queen is not going to die. So there's the poison, nicely done. His queen should stay alive, and the outside is going strong still with the Warden, with those 2 to 3 P.E.K.K.A still being alive.
Yeah, I was going to say, this looks very good, actually, because the RC wasn't deployed. There she is from the right-hand side. And the fact that there are openings in the wall means that the P.E.K.K.A could get into the base. Shredding everything on the outside means the Royal Champion can hopefully jump over there and take down the scatter shot with the ability. It could happen, but my main concern, Itsu, is time, particularly with the Queen now going down. The Royal Champion will be the final troop. Is she even going to get it, actually? Oh, it just didn't happen. The P.E.K.K.A moving on the outside, unfortunately, was too much here for Jin Mu. Thought he might have been able to rescue it with the Queen on the inside of the base, but time is the unfortunate factor yet again in the attacks. He is fortunate that the RC has survived here, though, Itsu. She will finish off a couple of extra buildings, and in a war like this where it is super tight, it is always going to come down to the percentage, and you always want to make sure you have the highest possible. 97% is definitely nothing to sniff at.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like now taking a look at the percentage game is, even if Vatang is going to 3-star now, that we have still a percentage lead for H.T Family. So really, really good, really good, making sure that yes, they did not get 3-star, but at least in the percentage game they're still ahead, even if Vatang is going to a 3-star. So that's really good news for H.T Family. So let's see if Vatang can just keep putting up some 3-stars, because so far, as you said in the last week matchups, they were doing pretty crazy things, and I feel like not sure if the bases are just different or not sure what exactly is going on, but we have not seen any crazy Sui Lalo approaches so far from the tank. Not sure if they're just saying, okay, we don't see any of those plans. Not sure if they're saying, okay, maybe H.T Family and Vatang knowing each other a little bit too well, so they kind of scared off baits. Really, really not sure what is going on over here, because it kind of feels like complete different team with the approach to some of those attacks, but instead we're going to see once again those super witches from Diff this time.
Yeah, maybe the bases have just shut down a lot of Vatang's plans. Diff actually gave us a percentage of the different attacks he likes to use, Lalo being 50% of the time his method of choice, and the P.E.K.K.A Smash Witch Smash style attack he only uses 5% of the time. So he obviously felt all of the other strategies were shut down from this base. Now you have to say, taking down the Town Hall early, I always feel is good from a Grand Warden walk, because it does give you the flexibility with the ability, but for these Super Witches, it's all about just trying to use the ability to protect your healers and the damage once you're into the center of the base, I feel.
I just saw the second where the Warden ability was too late, because he had to use the Queen ability and the Warden ability at the same time. So this is really unfortunate. And well, this is the Queen ability lost already that early. And take a look at those Black Mines. This is a beauty of a bait from H.T Family, once again showing off why they are so strong on defense. There's only one healer left at this point. Every single Black Mine was connecting to those healers. We have the King on the other side as well. We have the Royal Champion now in the bottom side doing some work. But with only one healer alive, those witches have not the most fun time inside the base. The King as well doing some great work. But once again, the core just died out because there's not the healing power you need to keep all of those witches alive. So I'm blown away by those defenses from H.T Family. They somehow appear to read every single attack of Vatang and successfully defend them.
They are doing it again and again. It's not just the one-off. Making sure that in these styles of attacks you protect your healers is the takeaway for you. If you are attacking with P.E.K.K.A Smash or anything like that, you have just seen a prime example as to why you need the Coco Loons in order to try and help protect your healers. But like you said, that was all the base building. He did all of that stuff. There was just too many black bombs to get through, and H.T Family yet again putting up a defense and coming down to the final attack. All they need to do now is finish this off. It is in their hands to close out the war.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point, we see the difference in between of the top teams. I mean, at this point, we started with 24 teams, and all of them were incredibly good. All of them really high up there in community leagues, and now we're down to 8. And those 8 teams are obviously few of the best teams in the entire world. And now we can see in most of those matchups, we have seen the importance of defense. Like, for example, this last attack, we saw it was like a 90% attack. And we definitely know that if all of those black mines would have not been there, this attack would have been definitely 3-star. Like, the plan was working great. But those teams making sure they're baiting all of those entries, this is what the best of the very best, like this is the difference maker in between of those two, like the highest level of the teams. I feel like, and this is what we've seen so far in nearly every single match, where we had one team really struggling to have somehow, like getting a chance somehow into the match with the other team having so strong bases.
Yes, absolutely, because as we've mentioned, you can't really have a base that defends everything, so it's trying to have a base that looks easy, but then you have the bait to trip your opponent up. So it is fire in the firing line here for H.T Family, the final person to try and close out the war from them. And let's see if he can do this. The Inferno Dragons are his method of choice. He's already set up the funnel with them diving straight in towards the Town Hall. Always a good choice to just get it down early on with the Grand Warden's ability. And the Stone Slammer just moving in towards the multi-target Inferno, because you can take a lot of damage onto the Inferno Dragons if you're not careful with splash damage.
Yeah, and this looks great so far, but I have to say, I would have liked to see one Electro Dragon attack from H.T Family, especially Fire, who is saying Electro Dragons is like his special thing. So let's see if it was worth it to switch over to the Inferno Dragons and make sure they can somehow work, because we have the Royal Champion already down at the top side, trying to somehow get to the enemy scatter. We know how important those scatters are. We know how important it is to take those scatters down with attacking with those Inferno Dragons. And we can see the backhand as well. The backhand is with the Eagle. And the Eagle is just keep shooting non-stop. And it's dealing so much damage. But at this point, the Inferno Tower in the core is been taken down by the Royal Champion. Now it's all about the backhand, all about the King and the Queen.
Yes, and he does not need the 3 stars here either. He actually... Well, I think he's already done it, Itsu. I think he only needed the 82%-ish in order to win this war. So I think he's done it. Even if he doesn't get the 3-star, and Vatang did, they wouldn't be able to count up on percentage. We will get clarification of that in a second. It's not going to be the 3-star, but I think it is enough with the percentage. Fire using the Inferno Dragons, not the Electro Dragons, as we might have wanted to see for one of them, like you said, but a 95% 2-star. Is it enough? I'm pretty sure it is. Let's take a look at the scoreboard once it's updated.
Yeah, once it's updated. And I think it should be enough, like considering that 92% in this last attack, and they had a pretty good percentage lead already. So I feel like that should be definitely enough. But either way, we would love to see a 3-star for Vatang. And yes, it is enough. 20% would be worth a 3-star. And yeah, Vatang can't do it anymore. So we have the winner already set, but still, we're going to see the last attack of Vatang. But I want to talk about this one more time, because I feel like it's so inspiring to see always offense versus defense. I feel like in every single match, maybe except the 11 original versus alternate match, but I feel like in every other match, we always had this incredible defense from one of the teams. We had this with the TOMPINAI Empire. We had this with Indian Clashers. Both teams did an amazing job on defense. And the same way with H.T Family, once again, holding back Vatang to only 1 out of 4 attacks, successful 3-star attacks. So that is impressive, especially seeing Vatang last week getting 14 stars against Method to Madness. That is a good achievement, I would say.
Yes, and it's one thing that you often can't appreciate when you're watching the stream, because there has been hours and hours, if not days and days, if you were to put the hours together, of testing the bases, building the bases, testing the bases. There's so much work that goes into that, and the base building team definitely has to have a shout out for each of the teams, because you don't often get that feel when you're just watching the stream as to how important it is. But it is Urek of Vatang to finish things off here, see if he can get a 3-star and let Vatang leave in style using the P.E.K.K.A. Smash.
Yeah, Warthog really early on, he's trying to go for this enemy eagle. Let's see if those collectors on the left side though are going to lure over the Warden, but so far it looks like, yeah, the Warden's going to take down the next elixir collector, and then he's going to just take down, oh wait, he's just like starting the queen, making sure just the eagle had a quick and nice funnel, and now he's going to walk around the eagle most likely, and there may be some delayed loons onto that eagle, something like that. We have already the funnel going on the top right. 1 archer against the multi-mortar. I would take that trade any day. 1 housing space versus 1 mortar. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, particularly when you're not going to do anything up in that area, you can allow the archer to just slowly chip away, and it is an interesting start here. Transitioning from the Grand Warden Walk to the Queen Walk, and now we see the P.E.K.K.A. Smash coming in, just speeding the process up by using the Queen, and it's an interesting variant that you don't often see within this style of attack, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right, but oh my, take a look at the next wall break. This wall break is so beautiful, giving all of his troops the power to get into the next layer of the defense. The next wall break, once again, giving the next... Oh, this is looking so good from Urek. Such a clean entry so far. Now it's all about for the troops, though, to get into the core as well, because so far, every single P.E.K.K.A. went into the outside.
Yeah, beautiful freeze spell on the inside of the base there to get the multi and the queen. Arguably protected all of the super wizards as they finish things off. Town Hall falls with the battle blimp moving in to the back end of the base. He now has P.E.K.K.A. moving around the top. Queen through the center onto the scatter. Now presses the ability with the RC down to the other side of the base. We have a 3-pronged attack going on to finish things off. RC ability is the only thing left, and it is used. He cannot do anything else now but watch and wait to see if he gets the 3-star. And Itsu, I'm pretty sure that he will here. Troops all over the map with 35 seconds remaining. There we go. Finishing off in style for Vatang, putting up the 12-12 war. But it is going to be H.T Family that win this one on percentage and will move forward to face Indian Clashers in next week's matches. Fantastic job to H.T Family. We will take a look at the bracket in a moment. But let's break down this war first, Itsu.
Yeah, that war was once again incredible to those two teams. Really great attacks, and especially I have to say the last one, I enjoyed that one with the smash, with the lightnings, and those wall breaks. Those wall breaks were so nicely planned. And then the back end Royal Champion with the rage. You don't see that every single day. It's really creative on there with their planning and adapting on the fly from Urek. Nicely done, but at the same time, this was our closest match of the day, I believe, with ending on a tie on stars and coming down to the percentage in the end.
And really, again, just picking up on your point in highlighting the bases that we seen from H.T Family. That was ultimately the difference maker in that war. So we have had some incredible matches again, and I think we need to take a look at the bracket to see what we will be seeing tomorrow, Itsu, because they seem to just keep getting better and better. We can't seem to predict things right now into the semi-finals. Remember, it is going to be a best of one. Only the grand final is a best of 3. So the first matchup, we'll see ATN.aTTaX versus TOMPINAI Empire. And then we have Indian Clashers versus H.T Family. Any thoughts on this, Itsu?
Wow. I feel like the first matchup is going to be all-rounder versus all-rounder. Two teams who are pretty good at most of the things like offense, defense. And then in the second match, we have two teams which are relying on their defense. And it's so impressive to see their defending skill level. So this is going to be kind of interesting to watch because it's kind of similar styles for both teams, I would say. So two amazing matchups for tomorrow. I cannot just wait for that. And then obviously in the end, the final as well.
Absolutely. And remember, they are all competing for the $40,000 prize pool. Itsu, it has been a pleasure casting with you again today. Such incredible matchups. And I cannot wait for tomorrow. I'm sure all of you at home are as well. So when can they tune in tomorrow to see the matches, Itsu?
Tomorrow it's 2 p.m. CEST. That's important because there's small time difference. So make sure to get that right when tuning in tomorrow. And well, then all of the remaining tournament, everything tomorrow. And that's just going to be amazing to watch, Judo.
Absolutely. You will see your winner and you will see absolutely everything finishing up with the tournament tomorrow. So you do not want to miss it. We will see you then at 2 p.m. Central European Summer Time. Have a good evening.